londe me mo. Mama, akwanama. Londe ma da londe ma o. Londe ma da londe ma. Lomo ye. Muna mewe londe me mo. Londe me mo abade bobo. Ya londe ma abade bobo. Ya londe ma abade bobo. Ekuna ya lomo. Ewa wana ewa. Ekuna wewe londe limo. Ya londe manga bade bobo. Ana de bona uga egina. Ana de bona uga egina. Ewa ana ewa. Londe wano namuye. Londe wano namuye. Londe wano namuye. Wela boga egina ye. Ne wela boga egina ye. Tomo egana. Longela nyanga. Ana egana lomo garenye. Dua lomo bo anama. Dua lomo bo. Ana ele ngabemwe. Ana ele ngabemwe. Ya kuna lomo miwa. Ena wega londe miwa. Ya londe ma ngabade ibobo. Ya londe ma ngabade ibobo. Ana elo ngabemwe. Ewala ana ewa. Ewala ana ewa. Londe wano namuye. Ana elo egawa o. Yena we lomo miwa. Kuno namuwe londe miwa. Ya dempanga bade ibobo. Ana kwetumo. Ana adopanyo. Malobo na wasanyo. Samela ngajua ba walongo. Engano kwale kamobo kabalu netubo. Ewa ana ewa londe wano namuye. Ana ewa londe wano namuye. Londe wano namuye. Mwatanga onganwa daona duale ngabemwe duale kuna boke muderuko dabalie dele nyangela dega ngabebo agelo debo daba kweda liba mwalo gayele liba teo gayele liba wolomo dale nyarela dego mwebu nyamwe damo ngwe nyanga duba dego monokwe kedale yamalo wo bubaleye Bobaleye peraga yedebo. Bobaleye peraga yedebo. Yamoyo, yamo babalo mema. Malone bobaleye yama. Yamo babaye baleye yama. Yamo babaye baleye yama. Nwedanga delu morebo. Dadenga badunga ma yamodia. Dedia ke yabalungwawe. Ya no wo baleye yama. Ya no abo vale yenga peraga yedebo. Ewa ana ewa londe wano namuye. Ewa ana ewa londe wano namuye. Analine, peraga lo nebo, Analine kwalaga lo nebo. Anaelo malono na asamyo. Malono na asamyo. Monge ba ekasamyo. Monge ba ekasamyo. Monge ba ekasamyo.
Good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am your host, presenter, with this Sunday's editions, the final editions of the year. The Examiner. I want to welcome all of you this evening here, right here in the East Coast of the Liberia Public Radio, to all our viewers, listeners, and followers that we will say thank you for all of the time. We want to welcome you this beautiful evening here from the East Coast. I'm Alfonso Zayn, so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Thank you for sharing your evening, your Sunday evening with us, wherever you are in Liberia, right here in the USA or any parts of the world, under the sound of my voice. We'll say thank you so much. Hey, Teddy Lion Te Yakon is he's been one of our followers for quite a long time. We'll try to do ourselves being generous here to our follower, our audience, and those that have been helping to keep us going here. Ruflamot, good to have you here. Of course, Stephen Sly is always. Venetia is one of our guys, except he's a liberal. He seems to be a supporter of the liberal, which is okay. Eric, guys, how you doing? Good to have you here. Sonny Zuo, good to have you here. Ruth Checky Myers, right there on cause in Des Moines, Iowa. Good evening, and hope the family is doing okay. Your brother sister passed away. That's a lot during this sort of critical time, holiday. The family should be meeting and having time. But again, that's the situation we find ourselves. Our prayers and talk with the family, of course. Ali Ukroma is here. Clarence Daly, he's the most, he's one of the ally to the liberal. Yeah, but sometimes they falls apart because sometimes he doesn't allow the politics of Liberia to take control. So Clarence, yes, I'll give that to you. Roger Gibson, to Decon T, Bullet, to all of our viewers and listeners, thank you so much. If this is the first time, so we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We don't usually say it your way. We don't say it the way you want us to say, but we do respect your views, your opinion about our country, about your country, and that is what it's all about. A lot is unfolding. We are gradually coming to the closure of the year. We are not there yet. We are in a volatile situation, world, society, things that unexpected always unfold. And so, but we want to be grateful to the old men out there, despite of all of the ups and downs, people driving, people flying, people moving, going to work, coming to work, some places bad weather. But even in the midst of that, you were able to go safely and return home. So that is huge. And we also understand that this time there are other families going through tough time, dealing with grief, death, and so many things. But we just say it, let the Lord be in control. Chris, good to have you here. Doris, thank you for being here. You're always here. By the way, we are live also on our YouTube channel. So if you were to go into YouTube search box and you type in Liberia Public Radio, trust me, you're going to see it. And all you want to do is to hit the subscription, follow to our page, share, Your comments, your tweets, your suggestions, always for the good of us, for the good of the network, and to do it the best way we can. So, Alexander, Jubit, good to have you here as well. Our own man back on here to say happy Sunday to everyone. And thank you for sharing your evenings with us. Hopefully, the analyst is going to be joining here this evening, as usual, to bring this edition to a closure. That's not the final of it, but that's the final segment for this year. So it's important to emphasize on that. We want to thank you so much for being here. In the meantime, let's take this quick commercial break. For those of you who are here inside Liberia, we do a lot of things. We cover events, be a convention, be a reunion, be a funeral, both in the USA and in Liberia as well. So we don't just want to come here and be like woman baker and just beg, oh, our cash, not that we don't have it. We do, but for us, we believe we should provide some services, and then you can, make that donation. So that way we will not feel like bone in our throat. We don't want to be, other can do what they can do every evening. Not that we don't need money, we need money. Of course, we certainly need. This is it's a sacrifice that we are making, and you are also making that sacrifice by sitting under the sound of our voice. But we prefer it in the real civilized context. Everybody work hard for their money, so we want to just provide a service to you. Once we did that, then we can tell you, say, this is the cost. This is what is associated with it. So you feel free giving us something. We also feel free because we want to take time, energy, to resources, and all of that to do it. So just in case you have even a business you want to have an eye, let us know. We can do it. It doesn't matter whatever event it is. In as much we talk about the politicians, I think it is important that we serve our community as well. Let's get involved. Let the world know your story. Let the public know what you do and your achievement. Some people reunion, anniversary, retirement programs. I mean, any form, anything. Even you want divorce and you want us to bring in when people getting married or do something, so you want to do it to so people know that you're free persons, it's okay with us. As long as it meets our standard and we have this sort of conversation. So we say thank you so much for your commitment to this network. We cannot overemphasize it. Over that. We come here, we have some people, including myself, but not much of me, but the group that can talk the real tabata on this network. If it is white, they turn it upside down to make it blue. If it is blue, they reinvent the culture to make it black. In the name of whatever reasons are unknown. But yet and stay, you are patient, you are tolerant, and you listen to that. You don't get annoyed. Even within that interns, you will get a little bit upset. What the heck this guy is saying? What is he talking about? I'm not even going to go back on the LPR. But guess what? When the link is out, you come back. It's not for me, it's not for him, but you are doing it for the good of the country because you want to be you want to be on top. You want to get, not that you're not getting news, you're reading a lot of electronics news outside other places, but you come here so that we can have a conversation as a family and bring all of our disagreements together. Put them in a basket, talk about it, discuss it, agree, disagree, make some arguable points so that you can get the day. And that's what we want our society to be. If we begin to have these sort of conversations with tolerance, with patience, and understanding other people where they're coming from with respect to their opinions and views about the country, and not just shutting down people. And man, John, you don't want to talk. Man, you don't listen to man, you call the man off. That's what other people do. So Liberia is no different from any other country. So you're going to have this sort of diversity of views, politics, everything going to kick into it. But if we can be a little tolerant and see how this person thought process, how they think, how they perceive, how they see the society going, I think we'll move somewhere. But the idea that the only time we will want to listen to people unless we are in agreement with them, it doesn't work like that. It's like me telling you, you just listen to me. Do I know it all? Certainly not. And trust me, when some of you call here after every program, for me, I don't let that go by. After every program, I go back to listen, to see what I screwed up, to see the lesson learned. I look at the comments, the color, and there are most of you and everybody makes sense in their own right. Because you're talking about your country, it's not about my personal self. So you are entitled to your opinions, to your view expressed. And even if it doesn't add up, if it is not applicable to the conversation or on discussion, perhaps it can be used elsewhere at some point in time. It doesn't mean because you don't say it the way I want you to say it, that you're not making sense. Or it's a waste of time. I don't see it that way. Just how, if you notice from time to time, there are some people when they call you, say, oh, that man, I see this, I'm trying to call him up. The other guy, you know who I'm talking, I'm not going to call name today, Sonny. The other guy who always develop artificial formula, tell lion, tell knows the person, Clarence knows that person I'm talking about. I can hear you. If you don't say it the way you're supposed to take it, it will develop this way. Now, tell me, for God's sake, who does that? So when we are here, the independent voices are completely restored. What I agree or disagree with you, you will say your own. You will talk what is in your mind, and I will speak mine. And sometimes, in more cases, when you call in here to say something, and I am apprehensive of what you say, then I hold you up, because it's not just on the politicians. All of us must be held accountable. Things that we talk, things that we say, we must also be held responsible for it. And I believe that is how it should be. Have a good show. Don't worry, we're having a peaceful show. It's all about being tolerant. It's all about being respectful to one another. Everything pretty well inclusive. You have the right to think what you want Liberia to be. She have the right to think what she wants Liberia to be. Does that mean your point doesn't make sense or her point doesn't make sense? No, but the how is being perceived. So somebody need to bridge that gap to say, hey, this is how it should be. It doesn't mean at once we agree with it, but you know, every human, the barriers, everybody got their own conscience. So sometimes, you know, when you say something, there are reasons you say it, there are motivations, there are things that you say what you say. And after saying it, you yourself can listen to yourself. Yeah, I say the one because we just gotta do it. You know, most of the people here, they say, oh, well, we can't do this one here. We can't undress our own devil. It's not a matter of undressing your devil. You try to be real, you try to be authentic, you try to be a real person, because it's not just only about that person. It's about many other thousands, hundreds of other people, about other 6, 15, 16 political subdivisions. It's about people of all ages, so not necessarily about that person. So we need to kind of distinguish that about this person, that person, but we need to take hold of the country. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we will get the conversation going right here, right now, in tonight's editions, The Examiners. I'm Afonso Zoyan, so I'll be right back.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business. Hello listeners, this is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful, inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to wrap it up for you.
There you have it. Let's bring this one here. That's the program Dancing for Jesus with Mazola Gizi. I want to bring this obituary announcement right here. This one here is obituary announcement. Mama Risaki, she will be laid to rest in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Funeral rites will be held at the Free Pentecostal Global International Church, like Painesville. Liberia Public Radio's crew in Liberia will be there to bring you live coverage of the homegoing celebrations of Mama Saki. This announcement was brought into us by the deceased children right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. And so just in case you have similar thing or any other event you want us to pay attention to, let us know as well. Let's welcome Madam Esther Clark Fredericks, one of our strong supporters. A very strong voice on this network in terms of where she wants to see her country going. And that's why we encourage people here. Do not leave this thing with politicians. Do not allow people to make decisions for you, even if you are not a policy or decision maker. You should raise your finger and also speak what you want to see happening to you, to your country, the future, and all of that. So the more you speak out, the more independent you will become. The value you just say, if you don't do it, at least history will count. Yes, he or she was part of this process. So let's welcome our man, Trocon. One of our strong followers here. Latro, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. So the man behind with this budget. Did there anything there for you in that budget? The budget, what did not fly by night for which is you are being in chambers, everything went downhill. They took it to City Hall. inflicted the figures because they want to do stuff. This is where the problem is, and that's why people don't want to. Sometimes it just it's so troubling to see the way people do things, and these actions they are doing being endorsed by people. I don't know what specifically. I would love. I'll put a number on here. I would love to see what you don't even work for us. You can also speak out, and that's the essence of this sort of conversation that we are having. Because some of us, when we continue to talk, they say, "Oh, he talking this way. He talked the way he talked because of X, Y, Z." So I think they need to be having multiple voices. The voices of all, how you feel as a Liberian, as a person, as a country, and all of that. So if there's a specific thing, we are open, or we have an open-ended conversation here. It's an open mic. We will always invite some of these people that are in charge of this thing, but they are very selective where to go. We can't force them. Our job is to extend them an invitation and say, hey, we need to talk about this. We hear this, we hear that. Not to be judgmental. We want to get your versions of it. So we want you to come for us to have a conversation. Yeah, yes, come our own, the lover boy. It's a guy commercial was just playing to Manzola. He had a very great, not every day, but the closure today to the stalker. You see, that's the beauty of this network. We are not divisive. And sometimes you would disagree with it, but his closure today included all of the county. Some of the county, but we can saying he tried hard, end up borrowing some from neighboring counties just to place it, just to play it to make sure you are part of the process. Mazola, thank you so much for the services. Your programs, I received a lot of good feedback. Your program very inspirational to do it differently. Everything about this network is not just politics. Sunday, Dancing for Jesus is very inspirational. Some good words of wisdom, lessons always learned. Beautiful songs that lifts up your soul. He says every Sunday, trust me, you need to set your alarm clock every Sunday for the program to Dancing for Jesus. If you are downhearted, if you just feel the whole world is crushing on you, just tune in to the love of God. You're going to get some really upliftment because you will always get the best. Okay, well, folks, I am Afonso Z, and so a lot of things being going on here. This is 39th president of the United States, a very common name in our Africans, especially Liberian culture, the late Jimmy Carter. Today, at the age of 100, give goes. He did what he could do for his country, and you can see a lot of statement war leaders. You remember the Carter Center or inside Liberia? He was involved in multitudes of things inside Liberia, outside of Liberia, Africa, or other places as well. So the name Jimmy Carter is a lot. So what our prayers and thought goes out to the family, to the government, and the people of this country for the loss of this great man. So, but he died at the age of 100. He lived a life that he's supposed to live, being off and on now. But no matter what, it's just still difficult because when you have this sort of thing, I mean, the story will always be. So again, our prayer and thought goes out to the government and the people of this country for the loss of this guy, President Jimmy Carter. You see, and that's how the uncertainty of the society looks like. There's another incident, I believe, in South Korea, the plane crash. Who knew that this was going to happen? Just how many hours or day to 2025 and over 179 persons, 179 at once. So we just know the second, but the next 30 seconds, we just don't know. There are a lot of uncertainties in life. You know, these people too also die in a plane crash. First in this event, I got out news, it pop up on my phone from South Korea. Experts questioning what are collusions with a bro. This whole bro thing going into whatever thing is. So what happened? It happened multiple times. In fact, just recently. So it's just saddened. 179, including the six, I believe, six crew members. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Imagine what his family is going through this sort of time. Literally, 2025. Who knows? Some of them were going places to have a New Year or family gathering, trips, vacations, or whatever. It's a little getaway. Who knows? And to find themselves in that situation. It's sad. Well, it is what it is. Our prayers and thought goes out to them, and we ask for God forgiveness. Okay, having said that, let's have a conversation. I'm going to open this phone line. You're going to be the activator here. Boyka Conan, good to have you here as well. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So there was another incident. We're not going to show that. I know you all have been saying this video, and the conversation out there is so varies depending who you talk to. This type of mob violence tool, Liberians, allegedly apparently it's angry crowd because according to what has been reported on different outlets, and I listened to some of the people, bystanders with courtesy of local news outlet in Liberia. In fact, that particular place is where they almost killed one of our reporter, and our motorbike went today. That's in the second era there. I remember in Liberia driving. I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. But that's it. People should kill them. Is that people should react? What should we do? It's just sad. But what I saw today was very, very scary. The other gentleman, I mean, you could see people take these huge rocks, these objects, and just taking, slamming it, whether in the face, in your stomach, or whatever in the body, like that. And I mean, I haven't heard anything from the police to say, but from all indications, also some Facebook posting. Apparently, maybe they have died or they have died already. Even saw what I saw. Where is the facility that going to do anything that those people they can be treated or even be to survive? Just not possible. That's not one person. That's not two person. Okay, so my man is here. Mr. Gerald Bacon is a senior security analyst. And so one thing he's been talking about here, this crime issue here. Perhaps maybe we're going to talk about it and other social issues, because all of these things, they have a ties. Are we as a people, as a nation, as a national government, the legislature, those who would be fighting over budget, are they addressing this issue that needs to be addressed in the country? Could some of these things be prevented? And why? Let me join my man, Jerry Bacon of the Liberia Public Radio. He's a security analyst. He's joining me this beautiful Sunday evening right here. So let's welcome one of our queen of the house, Joyce. Good Sunday, happy Sunday. Good to have you always. Thank you for your commitment, for always joining us here, whether you agree or you disagree with us. Because some of the guys are here, they can give you a headache. They make Maybe some of y'all just used to taking painkiller now because of the tapa, but still, you guys here. So I don't call your name. Why are you acting like it's somebody indirectly talking to you? Why are you uncomfortable, Mr. Bacon? I just being
For what?
real.
Well, no, of course it was. I
No,
just
but
put in my share, that's all.
no, that's unusual. I know usually when you come here, you always need everything always together. But right now, it looks like what I'm saying.
Oh man, forget it.
I'm not
We're
here
just
to
coming to a
please.
year end, so don't start no trouble. Good.
The body
I'm all set. Thank you.
You took it out. I want to go back there. It had to go there. Okay, Mr. Bacon, good to have you. Good Sunday. How was your day so far?
Oh, that is excellent. I mean, what can we do? It's cold. It's kind of not really bad today. You know, a little bit shower here and there, but it's good. Good to be
Yeah,
back here.
the
I've been
weather's
asking for a couple of days, you know, so that's what it is.
and you didn't even
I'm happy I'm back.
you're asking you didn't even tell the audience why you were gonna be away and all of that. I don't think that was nice on your part. That's my
I
view.
apologize to the audience. If you have missed me, I apologize. Assignment call for. When Tuesday call, you have to go. As a military personnel, when they say pack your load, you ask no question, you execute.
So wait a minute, you got an assignment? Was that an emergency call or what?
No, what I said as a military personnel, when they call you for duty, you go. That's what
So
it is.
who called you? Do we need to know? Can we know?
I
Or
work for the people. I work for government. The government called me and said, Jerry, we need to be done. I got no choice. I have to go. I just tell my wife I will be back.
okay, no, just asking you, man. I'm just asking that's all.
I know.
And
Thank you for your concern. No, thank you for
oh,
your concern.
okay. Hey, Mr. Conan, good to have you in the house as well as Aliyu Kuma. Okay, so let's have a conversation. First of all, maybe you always keep your own diary with respect to things that are happening. You know, like I said, you are a moderate guy. Moderate, you know, I call you Russian, but you know, sometimes you try to walk a fine line, not like the liberal, they look at it white and they say no, it's not like this, and the thing was stupid that we're just going to agree with them. That's not the case. But let's go in your folder playboard here. I see you put jotting down information, adding to what already that you are added. Today is Summit. This is a final edition here. Let's do a recap on some things here. What's on your mind this evening about your country, your government,
Well,
your people?
I got a lot of laundry. I got a lot of laundry. If I try to put it out, probably you'll not even have
Don't worry,
space for the.
I got a commercial machine. We're gonna wipe them.
You will not have to continue, but let's do the best we can. First, but let me say thank you to our audience, to our listener. Thank you to be tolerate us for the past 1 year. By next week, it will be my first anniversary on this show. I'll also say publicly thank you for hiring me to be on Lpr Public Radio. And despite we had different view, but we always have that mutual respect. So I said first, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I don't take it lightly.
And thank you for giving me the headache.
Mostly,
I said thank you for giving me.
I said anything. I said anytime you ready to fire me, just give me my letter back. And Jeff, I said, my man, today you got fired. I said, okay. I was saying, I said, but no, it's all seriousness. Our listener will say you are the people that make this show to be interesting. You are the people because some of your comments after the show, sometimes we go back and read your comments and see what we did wrong, what did I say wrong, if I can make a correction. So all these things that's important. So you are the hawker media that get the show going. It's not about personality, it's not how many education that we have, because we are too smart than the rest of the people. No, it is not. You are the people that make this show to be interesting. However, today, this coming year, especially to our government, in the Republic of Liberia. They come a new year, I will call it a year of encouragement. Year of coverage. We need to encourage the people. We need to encourage them. And let's have some discipline within our government. And we want to give the direction that we want to go. It is about time. We are being power now for coming to a year. Right? A few weeks from now, we'll make a 1 year in power. So I would say the year of coverage. That's what I would say. Well, let's do yearly review. We took power about a year ago, and let's start from the inauguration. From the inauguration, it was investigation about the inaugural committee, the money that was spent. Investigation. There's no response. There's no report on the conclusion. Let me just put it that way. There's no conclusion.
Oh, really? They didn't report yet?
No, I listen, man. I just you see this. I say I do my yearly review. I say I got a lot of laundry.
I'm taking note too. I said, oh, they didn't report yet.
Okay.
I told them.
I say I do yearly review.
Okay.
We have the yellow machine as something that need to be addressed. We have the education scholarship, so recovery, all these things. There's some missteps, but at the same time, His Excellency has done so well. Good thing for the country. He had traveled out of the country, make sure that the Liberian are getting her reputation on the international stage. He went to Nigeria. He asked that we should have African currency. He first of his kind, the former Minister of Finance, is still pending prosecution. So there are a lot of good things that happen. But if we look at the matter and the plus, you know, bad news travel faster than good news. So the president is doing well. The Liberia people hire him to recover. The train, the trains, it needs some maintenance. It needs to be moving because when you are hired, hold on, when you are hired on a mandate, you need to execute a mandate. So we don't want to use. You have an agenda when you are hired. You have an agenda. You have to be very calculative in what the people are mandated you for. There will be mistakes and there will be frustration. But all these things are the result, the people hire you to be the rescuer. So we have to live up to that promise. We promised the Liberian people that we're going to rescue them. So we have to exhibit that we promised the Liberian people that we're going to rescue them. I know there's a missteps. Nobody is infallible. But this year, it should be year of courage. I'll pause for that. Thank you.
Well, thank goodness. I try not to develop migraine this evening, but it appears you're gonna. So okay, so you why are we experiencing all of these things that you are talking about? Should any Liberian have in your mind, on just in your mind, boycott to see all of these things on to happen? Where the disconnect?
Well, I'm not saying there's a disconnection. Of course, there's a misstep.
I'm saying because of course they are. So don't even go there with me. Why should we be talking? Why at this time when you people came, you told us that people are going to be held accountable, they're going to be renewed, because when somebody comes to say they're going to rescue you, and I wish I had the opportunity to have talked to, then he was candidate, this sort of Cold War that he came and no one No group, no journalist, places I even went, nobody thought of trying to go beyond this rescue to decode it, because politicians have a specific way of speaking. You got to be smart, you got to be far-sighted, and really capture what they are saying. So, are you guys still rescuing Liberia today? Where is that train? Is that train still alive?
Oh, the train is moving. The train is moving. The train is moving. But like I said from the beginning, it is time for us to, the people give us the mandate, let's execute it. And when people give you mandate, they expect certain quality out of you. They expect, results. And we are not infallible. We are human beings. We make mistakes. And we acknowledge it. We are all human beings. We make mistakes, and it's time for us to it's time for us to live us to the expectation. When you hire me, you expect me to produce. I mean, and not everything I will do on the show you will agree with me, but I have made some mistake or I have misspoken on the show. Yeah, of course I do. So we are all human beings. So I mean, that's what I said today. Hopefully this year we will, some of the mistakes that we'll do some analysis.
You left some important pieces out. I try to contain myself here. Today is Sunday, and for us to be, because overall I stopped to your house this morning. We had a very great time. But you trying to get under my skin. It's a complete provocation. There are some,
what am I getting?
Yeah, there are some things you are doing on purpose. You want to leave out, and I think it's a disservice to the audience. You didn't even talk about capital. You didn't even talk about the ridiculous
I said,
coming from Lofa County recently, where a lot of things is going on now. You just say, oh, the train is moving where? This train get us stuck now until we are not. I don't know whether there's a chauffeur, Frenchman say, or who is driving this train. I mean, just too much going on, Mr. Bacon. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. And you can tell us that you shouldn't be using rescue. Now we are drowning. You need to find people to kind of go out there now and get these people that are drowning.
But even if you are drowning, we still got to rescue. If you are drowning, we still got to rescue. So what are you talking about? Even if you fall down, we still got to rescue. So what are you talking about?
You all
have somebody drown, what are you gonna do? If somebody drown, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so where is government? Where do you think they need to develop? Are they being transparent to the Liberian people? Too much going on. Let's be honest.
Listen, the president have been, yes, he have been. He's speaking on certain issues that he necessary for him to speak on. Like I said, there's mistakes. Yeah, of course, mistakes. We'll never acknowledge it. There's nobody say there's no mistake being made. If you say there's no mistake being made, then you'll be foolish. And then you're completely out of your mind. But what I am saying is what happened, it is happening. And what can we do to rectify it? That's the core. You made mistakes, then you rectify the mistakes.
So this mistake is just a consistent party all over mistake? Or is there another act of just being unable to govern? Why would it be?
No.
What sort of mistake is that? These were the same mistakes. These were the mistakes Mr. Bacon found on yesterday, and it was on the basis of these mistakes that have been consistent from the past government. You came up with this whole, the experience, the years, and you want to do this, you want to do that. So I was utmost surprised. I'm not surprised, but to the rest of the Liberians, that's utmost surprised to get up at this point and some of the most unusual, bizarre rhetorics, divisive, unclear statements, and people coming to do the damage control without being honest before the camera. These things have been happening over and over. Over 300 cases of alleged corruptions, the defiance of presidential mandate, giving ultimatum from government officials to declare their assets within 10 days. Executive is unable to follow through. That itself is a problem. Is just allowing everybody to have their way. And for you to come here, that this train is still rescued, it wonders me. So who is in charge? Who is regulating? Is there maintenance for this train? Is there any technicians on board to make sure that there's no leakage? Because we are all going down the hill. We are already there. I am concerned. Or are you guys willing until we also march before you will get to know that this train is already on the water?
No, sir. No, sir. That's what I just said. I'm keep saying it. The president will do analysis what went wrong for the past 9 months or 10 months. And look, every government have the style of doing things. And sometimes it turned out to be good, sometimes it turned out not to be good, and you have to go back on the drawing board. Even if you go on a mission, you go on a mission, you might make an error and you go back and retreat and say, okay, this is what we made a mistake, we're going to advance. So that's what it is. I'm acknowledging, yes, there's a mistake, of course. Of course, we are. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it and say, no, there was no mistake made. Even in your own house, if you made a mistake, go back to your wife, go back to your children. If you made a mistake and tell them, saying, you know what, I made a mistake.
These mistakes kept going on and nothing is being done. I told reprimand to hold people responsible. Even these things happening under the belt of the executive. Jerry, come on. I know you'll find yourself in a very horrible and embarrassing situation. I never anticipated to find yourself in such a defense line, and I know exactly what it meant for politicians and people who have their supporter when they are caught in crossfire with these sort of political issues. It's difficult to kind of navigate, to interpret it. That's exactly what you are experiencing now. Now, this whole thing here, we're still soon. CDC government just left, they created a mess. You knew you were walking into a mess. This is why the CDC, we retired them, we rejected them, because it was the same sort of poor administrative management, right, for which you were hired. So there should be no room for these sort of excuses. There should be no room for these sort of mistakes to be happening over and over and over every day and night.
Listen, I don't know how much you want me to tell you, or how much you want me for me to tell the audience. I have knowledge it. I say yes, there was a missteps, and we're hoping, we are praying that we will ratify it this year. So
it doesn't require prayer.
Look, listen, sir.
What
if you made mistake, listen now. If you made mistake, acknowledge that, yeah, I made mistake. I'm not acknowledging it. We are perfect, no. But there are some good things this administration have done. So if you want to focus on the negativities, that's fine. I mean, negatives always overshadow any good. In fact, bad news travel faster than good news anyway. So these are things I want to make sure.
Okay, should we still have this sort of excuse? Still soon? Yeah, let's
no. Everybody say stay soon, then you are not ready. No, it's over. The honeymoon is over. It's time for us to act and to produce. It's not no more excuses. It's not time for excuses. It's time to go on. We have been there for 9 months now. So let's do something now. 10 months. So it's time for from January to what? December? That's enough. No more excuses.
Okay, we'll be going back and forth, and we're going to activate this line here. Let's go into your area of expertise with respect to this crime, this sort of mob violence type. That's something you have talk about here. Maybe we have not gone in there, but this is something you have written a series of articles and all of that. I think I was at your place today, and we saw a little a video of what happens today. But to everything too, there's a root cause or root causes, whether good or bad. How we got to this point is the government. If I say government, I'm not restricting my conversation now to just President Joseph Newman Boyka. government, the Helen Johnson Sirleaf, the George Weah, or the post-war government, knowing where we came from as a people, as a nation, what we suffered, what we went through, that's brutal civil war, does change and shift our country's directions, way of doing things. Do you think national government as a whole has done enough to rehabilitate, to address, or to have prevented these issues?
No. No, from my perspective, what I see, what I know, no. First of all, let's address this step by step. During the TRC testimony, there were recommendations made. Up to this time, people have never did a counseling. One of the recommendations, we didn't prepare our people to integrate them into the community, to integrate them into society. They saw civil war, violence, and things. There was never counseling. And today, look what's going on in our country. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, these people have, in fact, we don't prepare our people for the post-war. We are not prepared our people yet. Probably we are not on a battlefield like or during the Civil War we're killing, but it's worse. People are killing. I mean, people are still traumatized. I mean, I saw a video, and I mean, I sat down. I mean, I almost shed tears. I mean, 5 minutes I shed tears. There was a body on the separate tent. I mean, they didn't cover the body. Right behind SKG Stadium, and children are passing by. What going to be the outcome of the children? And there was like nothing. When I say children, maybe 10 or 5 years old. They were just passing by the body, and somebody were curious. What is going in the mind of these children? What going to be the outcome tomorrow? They are exposed to violence. We talk about breathing onto a massive violence. I mean, there are so many articles. I even come here and I can't talk about it. Look, I watched another video. I think I sent it to you. There's a older woman in and the dwell zone area there. She lives in the jungle. Look what she's drinking, the world she's drinking out of. Elderly abuse. There is no law in our country. For elderly abuse, child abuse, pornography, all these things. We need law. Even if we need law, who are the people who specialize in these things? They are growing a violent society. Children exposed to violence. And guess what? It will escalate because that's all that way of life. You and myself today, maybe Terry that baby, older than him. But we have a discipline when you and myself were growing up. There were, let me not use the word restriction, but there was structure. There was a structure. In fact, it was unbearable for a late child to be exposed to a body, to see bodies. It was a taboo. When they're having funeral for you to go and see, for children today to go see burial and all these things. It was no, you were not going to go there. That's how you felt. And we are not addressing these things. It's something for us to start thinking. What happened to the next generation when you and myself we are gone tomorrow? We're not prepared for the next generation. Who's going to lead us? Look at our education system. You and myself here today because we know we have foundation of education, discipline.
You bring in this. You bring in this whatever appears to. I say just to add to what you say, bring in some pronounce some sort of scholarship without doing due diligence, and you have the chief executive coming and doing all of that. But let me just welcome Terry. Terry, good evening. Good to have you here. Happy Sunday. Terry, are you there?
Good evening. Yeah, good evening to you and Mr. Bacon. I'm here. You getting me?
Getting you loud and clear.
You're not hearing
loud and clear.
We're hearing you. We're hearing you.
If we want to deal with a social issue tonight, let's deal with some of these social issues. Criminal rape, murder, rape,
issue
all these things.
The social issue tied with politicians' reckless and unable to take stance on these critical issues. So they're all going to be a sort of there will be a correlation into this conversation. Terry, are you hearing us?
He's talking to somebody else. He on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Abraham,
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you guys.
Slanga Marita Slangat, good evening. Good to have you here, and I hope the family doing okay. And happy belated Merry Christmas and a good year. So, Terry, in your absence, Jerry said the honeymoon is over. No more excuse. No more coming here to say, oh, Joy Weir, the not George Weir. You own A, you walk into A, you told the Liberian people you're going to do it. And he was very, very much disappointed. A lot of things been happening. He went as far as the endless investigation from the inaugural and all of that. I don't know why he never talked about the so-called drugs campaign where people were taking vaccination, the wage war or whatever combat the use of drugs in the country. We don't even know what that's got. Now, let's be honest here, because all of these things have a social correlation, social connection. That's why you see the society is going. The drug issue is one of the greater component, and that was one of the things this president and the Unity Party folks argued that it was CDC more or less breaking the drugs. And there were a lot of things in the canons. Some were proven, some not proven. We don't know, but we have not seen the result, the outcome of these concerns raised by this government. Instead, things still unusual that we never, one could never guess it could happen under the watch of this old man. We see that is happening. So let me ask you here too. Are you still in the honeymoon, or is the honeymoon it should be over?
Mr. So the honeymoon was over for me since 100 days in office. So I don't see any honeymoon that people normally talk about. Maybe for the political parties and the leaders, maybe they consider the honeymoon to be 1 year. It depends on who's speaking. That determines the measure of the honeymoon that they will give to administration. But in my view, after 100 days, we had to get the ball rolling because we came to rescue. A rescuer do not have a honeymoon. A rescuer is a temporary engagement to rescue. You understand? And looking at the way the country was running, you don't need a honeymoon. You didn't need a honeymoon. You needed to get on the ground and effectively effect the change that the people require. And we're seeing that happening gradually. What is happening? People are expecting that all of what the president and the Unity Party government promised, people are having hyper expectation that these things will happen or supposed to happen in 1 year. It's not possible. It's not possible. So as a result, people are talking about giving people jobs in 1 year. People are talking about emancipating people from this degrading school system in 1 year. All of what have shrank the economy in 1 year, people are expecting it to be overturned. And we can understand, because what happened is that what is really making the people angry is that when they see maybe Joseph Boakai well-dressed and he walking, instead of falling down and in one casket, it make them angry, especially the seditionists, because the prophecy did not come to pass, which was Joseph Boakai would have died. He had a bypass surgery that was supposed to be done.
Terry.
Because the only people that are angry are seditionists. Most of the other people in the country,
what are you talking about? Today is Sunday, so I'm finding it very difficult to even believe in you to tell me that you're 100 days, because these are bunches of excuses that really doesn't add up for you to tell us or tell the listener that is that a seditions wants to see Joseph Boakai to drop or Liberia? Is that what you're saying? This is why we're having a sort of chaotic situation. The legislature, the school system, president making all of these ridiculous comments and that have different connotation, different interpretation. Is that what you want to tell me this Sunday evening, Terry?
Mr. So, the statement the Papa made or the president made was not a statement that was clear enough to justify that the president was saying that people should continue to steal. It is the spin, as the way President Weah said in his government, that we are all family people. So corruption is not anything. You know, you can't persecute people because everybody family. That was a clear statement from the former president, as compared to what President Joseph Yuma Boakai said, and the media in favor of CDC twisting.
What was Joseph Boakai on the statement? Saying you quoted President
Joseph Boakai did not say. Joseph Boakai did not say people should steal. He did not say people should steal. It is the way people are interpreting what he said. And that is why he came to clarify, because of the way the media chose to misinterpret, especially the way they pay the media people. They just statements to misinterpret. So I don't understand. But let's agree that Joseph Boakai said what they think he said. All right? He came back and he clarified to tell you that this is not what we said. But CDC, when President Weah made that statement, was there a clarification? Was there a follow-up clarification to the statement he made? The last time I checked, I don't think they came back to clarify what the president really mean or what he said as compared to Joseph Yuma Boakai.
So for me, clarification is not my favorite, because anytime you try to clarify, then you know that you screwed up. If you try to clarify something, it means you screwed up. It means you were not concise. You created an unnecessary drama to give rise for people to talk what they want to talk. So first of all,
but you did clarify though.
What?
But you did clarify.
Even our clarification, like I said, it doesn't add up. I'm not going to dwell on that. But the idea of leaders, yeah, because why would even I don't maybe to play this? Because why
play it? I want you to play it so I can tell you what it means.
As a leader,
from my view now, because everybody got an interpretation. From my interpretation.
So it's very, very, very much important. Let's have this on the conversations and undo politics here a little bit. It is very, very, very much important. Leaders, the way you will speak, the way the ordinary person will speak, the gravity of your language, what you put out there, people take that seriously. People can act on it. People can. And that action can be ugly, it can be good, and not necessarily you authorize them, but they are so-called loyalists there who want some political favors, who feels they are the rightful owner, so they will do things beyond the borderline, because you have said that you kind of give them that opportunity to already things that they have in mind, that what we are saying. So if politicians, if they say these things and they can't even come back to say, oh, we are sorry, and begin to give justifications, unnecessary clarification, find excuses, I mean, it just doesn't.
Mr. Stowe, there was no need to say I'm sorry. People twisted the old man, the president's statement, and the president needed to clarify. The only time you can say sorry that President Weah should have been the one to come and say sorry, because he clearly said in the cabinet meeting that we are all family. Mr. Bacon, did you not hear that statement? The thing were all on the news. I can even look for it and share it.
So let me ask you, there's some sort of a consistency. President Weah said what he said. On Helen Johnson Sirleaf government, which now President Joseph Boakai was the vice president, what did they say about corruption? Corruption is a pandemic.
Yes, she said that corruption is a vampire. And one of her greatest failure was the fight against corruption. She admitted to that.
So saying that, hearing that from Helen Johnson Sirleaf, then president, now president, was a vice president. Do you think, considering all that is all happening now, do you think he took cue from there to say, even though maybe I disagree or agree with my boss, this is a situation that we have. I would now. He said he was parking in the garage. We yet to get an explanation what sort of garage it was, what happened, what not happened. With today, there's no memoir to suggest the agreement and disagreement. You see, and this is the problem with the Liberian politician. You will see it here when these people leave office, or there's anything, it doesn't matter where they go. You will see that there will be a memoir. They will come and tell the story. There will be a book. There will be somewhere that you're referring. We don't know that today. He doesn't want to say anything. Heading to not saying anything, and it just like that leave us hanging. And you guys are the fixer now to get this thing to be where it is. Do you think then he took cue to address that? Because when his boss was making that comment, he was the number 2 person presiding as well. And here we are, these things still ongoing.
Mr. So there are a lot of things that is expected of this president. And even me that year, I expect him to do much better than what he is doing now. And the reason why we have high expectation for the president is because of where we're living, the life we see, the life we know he saw, the viewpoint and all of that. Okay, you got a firm position that President Bokar, it might have been taken from President from President Ellen's statement that said that I couldn't fight corruption. Maybe he said, per your understanding, that he was saying that in as much as it seems that we cannot fight corruption, so the people, we're trying to encourage the people, let them spend the money on it, let them use the money to bless the people. Maybe that could be a position that you would take. But my position here is this. That statement was clarified by the president. He came out to clarify his statement. Thereby, we now see it from the position of the clarity and not the position of the statement made, as compared to previous leadership who failed to clarify the statement that they made. That's my position. Now, there are many errors. There are many errors that have been made, but as compared to the previous administration, there are also many progress, and there is a great difference in disparity. And that is why the atmosphere over the country have not yet turned against President Joseph Yema Bokar. Most of the people are here on social media running with information are people who support the CDC. They are not independent. They are not transparent. And that is why I don't value their position. I don't value their comments. The only people comments and analysis that I value are those who are independent. Those are the people who, when they criticize, I see their comments to be important. But the people who were on the network here, who could not criticize President Weah government with all the bad practices, I don't value their comment. They can talk for not adjustment, they don't move me. Because I know that they are not sincere, they are not patriotic, they don't love Liberia. But if you criticize from the position of neutrality, I will see your criticism to be patriotic, and that is what I'm looking for. You see it? So as a result, then that is why the people you brought on the show the last time when we had a conversation, there are a few guys that I listened to on basis of criticism, like the minister you brought in. His criticism is genuine. It's coming from a genuine place. The other guy, Moses you brought in, he's coming from a genuine place. Because these are people that supported President Bokar because they felt that they felt he had opportunity, he was going to produce something, and they feel disappointed when he's not meeting up with what they projected, which is fine. But now you Tabata people from CDC that told us that the paper was too old, he was going to fall down, he was going to die, he was not fit for the presidency. So they are angry that the words did not come to fruition. These people will never say anything of balance. They will not talk nothing balanced on about Joseph Boakai government. So I do not see the criticism to be important. In my view, President Boakai has made some mistakes. We have come on the network. Mr. Barton can attest to it. Labor can attest to it. We have blasted on the government. We have said that his government have failed in some areas. But we can never compare the 1 year leadership of President Boakai to the former President Weah leadership. It's not possible.
It's not possible. Let me bring in Mr. Back on here. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
You listen to your guy. You want to add on to whatever he said? Yes, any piece of information he left out, you think you want to throw in?
Oh, no. He said what he have to say, but yes, what I want to say. Terry is right. They'll all be disgruntled. And the only thing, the Liberian people, based upon Mr. Boakai's experience, they expect too much too soon and will raise the bar so high. That's some of the thing. The bar will raise so high because of business of Mr. Boakai age and based upon the experience. That's why it began a suffocation. Hold on. I said because we raised the bar so high. And I said, no, I agree. I said we raised the bar based upon experience and based upon his age. People have high expectation, what Mr. Boakai was going to do. But like I said, there's a mistake made. Of course we do. Nobody here be a secret friend and say, no, we made no mistake, we'll do that. No, but look at some of the good things that Mr. Boakai has done. But yeah, what I want to say tonight to our radio listener, it is about time. Liberia first, Liberia first, Liberia first, Liberia first. We have to put Liberia first. Let's forget about what. You know what? The late holding power said, if you broke it, you own it. That's what he said. When George Bush about to go invade Iraq, at that time he was minister of state, and he said, Mr. President, if you break it, you own it. Boakai broke it, he owned it. That's a government that he said is a rescue team. He owned it. So no matter what they say, it's our responsibility to make sure that what we were elected for, whatever we inherit, is our responsibility to play our role that we need to play in this government and make sure the government, but to redeem the people rescue. When you're going to rescue, it's not going to be an easy thing. When the war rescue, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's not a play thing. The people are in danger. People are hungry. So you don't even know when you're going to rescue people. You don't even know what to expect. So you prepare yourself for all eventuality. But this is what I want to say. Our radio listeners, those are listening to us in the air with this evening. It is time for we as a Liberian to challenge ourselves.
So moving forward, what is your... Oh, okay. I thought you said, I heard you saying that. I want to say, I tell you, and go ahead.
I say, for moving forward, is we as a Liberian, it is time for us to participate in our government. It is time for us to be, our voice to be heard. We don't have to use violence to petition our government. We don't have to be sarcastic to petition our government. It is our country. It's been 177 years, and it is time we have new generation. The thing that you must say, we used to use kerosene to steady. Today, they put highlight. So we are making progress in society in the 21st century. I used to walk 4 or 5 hours sleep on the farm before I go to school. Today, people can take back and go to school. Today, I can pick up the phone right now and call my home. It's never been heard about. So it's time for us to take advantage of the opportunity that coming our way. Rather than to be obstacles to society, we all have an obligation. The president cannot do it all as an individual. You can be an entrepreneur tomorrow. Look what Lpr is doing. There are people who are journalist students who are just graduated. Someone can come and do an internship on the show. It's open a reservoir for tomorrow who want to be a professional journalism, who want to be a producer, who want to be a cameraman. So we are making a progress. When you and myself, we have only one radio station that was EAW. We got EABC, couldn't go outside or Carisburg. Today, we got a radio station all over Liberia. That's something positive. And we need to.
So
I come in a minute.
Well,
One of the things, one of the
greatest teacher
one
of
of
the
the things,
world, or what?
well, listen, sir. One of the things you must say we're discussing about human service, and we have to take human service serious in our country. Child abuse, domestic violence, social service need to be available to the people who come from the hospital. Where do they go? And we have to provide services for the people. Some of the children who have been traumatized, what are they doing? Why are the people who was the so-called Zoko, we label them to be Zoko? How do we integrate them into the community? These are issues, serious social problems. I checked my article, I wrote a social problem. I've been writing social problem. Today, where is the labyrinth dream? You must say how the dream. Today we are here. What about those that are coming after us? According to working poor.
We should be asking you and Terrence and the liberals are supposed to be telling us, because
listen, it is not going to be fixed in 9 months or 10 months or 1 year time. It's something that
there are no indicators. There are no indicators that it will ever be fixed. We're not saying the plan. Where is the plan? I mean, talking there, writing, of course, I give it to you.
But Mrs. So,
are we come here, Mr. Collins. Is your government, is our government addressing this issue now? Was there any specific agenda put forward that we can even find to say, okay, this is what this government has on the book, and at social point in time it will kick off? There's nothing. So talking about AA and not being perfected by the very government with their good ideas, have you put forward these ideas to them? And if so, what has been your reception to it?
Listen, sir. This idea is something that people have to put a mechanism in place for it to work. It's not just going to happen today. You snap your finger and say it's going to happen. There are people who are being this thing for a very long time. To take somebody from mat to mattress, it's a process. You know, from mat to mattress, it's a process. It's not just going to happen and say, yeah, Boca came in 12 months ago, so things going to. Yes, it's not just going to happen spontaneously. It's a work in progress. That's why the government is a continuation. It's not just going to happen 1 day or 2 days time. But listen, folks, Mr. Burger heading in the right direction. He had an agenda, and he came to rescue this country, and he will rescue. Let's listen to his few weeks from now, he'll be addressing the nation, the state of the union. Well, listen to his speech, where his agenda is, where he want to carry this country. So stay tuned. It's coming. Listen to him.
Yeah.
Don't be daydreaming. Don't be daydreaming.
So the thing here is this, right? Like what Mr. Bacon said, your budget, Liberia cannot move forward because of several reasons. You have a country budget of 600 million to 700 million for 5 million people. That money is small. But your legislature are the one who makes the law for the budget to become law. They have the power to say, okay, this money is small, but since we need more money for schools, we will cut down the president budget. Since they made budget for 4 million, we'll cut it down to 1 million per year. The judiciary budget is 20 million, we'll make it 5. We scale down all those that carry high incentives to be able to mitigate other areas in government that is very necessary to the Liberian people, especially education, other things, agriculture, many other things, roads, networking, and all that. Until that can be done, you and I are not going nowhere, because the budget for the country is 600 million. 600 million cannot run Liberia. And the worst thing about it is that everybody in the country is depending on that budget. So nobody wants to invest into Liberia. Ask yourself, how many of us in the diaspora that are already investing into our country? How many? At least for you, you got a whole network there. You got journalists that you paying that depending on you to survive. But how many Liberians? How many Liberians? Yeah, but I mean, you got journalists there that you got people on the ground that you invest into, even if you're not giving them, what they call. But how many of us, right, that are investing, like what people can say, what are you giving back to your country? How many of us who are travel all over the world and all of that are already giving back to Liberia? Not many. The only thing we do is sit in America and maybe more, talk who did politics, talk for one government. When that government come to power, they import you from America to Liberia to go work in the government. And then you end up stealing more than what you. So those are some of the problems. How many people are really investing? So we blame the foreigners for coming into the country and doing what we're supposed to be doing. Take, for example, the attire shop. The attire shop in Liberia are owned by Fullers. The very attire shops that Liberian can go sit down on. The tea and the bread are owned by foreigners. They are owned by Fullers. The Ego Electric that sells electricity for lights and things, they are owned by Lebanese. All right. Even bathing top buckets, these things are owned by Lebanese. They are owned by foreigners. So what do Liberian people have? What are we contributing to the economy?
So
then we blame them for working with foreigners.
Yeah,
we blame them because we ourselves do not have the technical mechanism to take over our economy.
So these are all good points you're talking about. Why you not talking and you trying to avoid and start addressing this issue here? So here it's the same. National government provides subsidies for small business owners. Here, you know that. Government or whatever. Right. Hold on, we were talking about Tamata here. I didn't so that. And you guys.
But how long will you be?
What?
So how long you will be small businesses? How long will you continue to depend on government subsidies?
Small businesses, they make you to grow. You become mature. Even if they give that subsidy, you give back. We saw what the national government did here. People were bailed out. Government gave them that money because they want the economy to be tight. They don't want people to go jobless because they know when people don't have job, they can't earn. Their home's going to be in crisis. A lot of things going to come on, and the repercussions, the backlash comes to the government. So the conversation we should be having now with this mature and experienced government here, and all other government for that matter, is our government in general. Have they come to realize only our government is the highest source of employment? Have they come to realize, have they even encouraged Liberian businesses? And if so, if you look at even some of the things that are happening, how they award contracts, how they give things, if you don't even brag, so there are a lot of hurdles in the way that even penning down the same very government. I think those are things that we're supposed to be talking about. When you have an economy of such to look like that, and people are finding it very difficult, only the government relies on payroll to get things going. If they can't find other avenues, if they can't make the playing field conducive for events, for investors, for businesses to roll in, they have these sort of tight rules, this sort of bribery that you got to go through. They create too much of obstacles. Now, we are seeing what we should be talking about. If we can have if we can have honest people, and when government will begin to take actions on these corrupt people who are there ripping off people and just having investigation, no result, and no one is being accounted for, and you have people who were convicted yesterday, today they are relieved, and they are being heavily rewarded. This is the problem that we have in the country. So it's like the only way you can get on top there, let me do some horrible, terrible thing. And people are going to glorify you. They see you as the Goliath. They see you as the King Kong. They see you as the man of the year because you did something crazy and other people agree, other people don't agree. They take you up yesterday. and they give you a big, hell of a huge pay. So if we have a system of such, how do we expect, like my own, I was just looking at our own budget. You know, the closeness of our government, the lack of transparency here. Like our own later stay here for the fiscal year 2025, 13.7 billion budget. And they would outline everything that is there. But you have these people, they would just do, look at even this recent budget here. We saw why it was. By the time we went to City Hall, we don't see this sort of public debate. How these monies will be allocated and for what? Right. We need to have this sort of system.
That is our problem.
You know,
that is our problem. Our reading the American, how the Americans submit the budget, the people take almost a year. The executive.
Your people did that the other day?
No, I mean, yeah, but what I mean, like for the Senate, before they submit, before this, like for example, they submit the budget in February, it takes them up to 2 months. I think those guys can pass the budget in April. Just imagine, and the American budget is in trillions. So but they pass the budget, they have to go 2 months to really discuss the budget line by line before they pass that budget in America here. So the budget is submitted in February, but it is passed, I think, in April. So, but the government itself take almost a year to compare notes with ministries, you know, to set up the budget before even submitting it to the legislature.
How many days your budget took the other day?
That's what I'm saying. But the problem with us, we blame the executive branch for everything. The legislature supposed to be the one to correct all the mistakes.
They held on to that budget. It wasn't submitted according to the law, and you have another. And the thing is, because the reason we blame them, because they rake in as much. You know, it's a kind of convoluted one here. There's the legislature should be an independent, but that's not the case. That's not the case. It's been regulated by the executive. You have greedy people there who is all about themselves. Budget, we saw the number the other day. By the time I went to City Hall, what happened? It triples. Was there any clarification to the Liberian people? Complete disrespect to the people. And then you see these guys that come out and just throw all kinds of
this budget. This budget that was passed shouldn't have been passed that quick. This budget that was passed was a sinister budget, was a corrupt budget, and it shouldn't have been passed that quick. The budget should have been discussed. There were many things. Even we heard that there is the machine, that $20 million, I know $20 or $30 million is in the budget for the machine, the machine the paper brought to the country. So what I'm seeing is that why would the legislature pass a budget so quick? You understand that? When they are the one who decides, because the budget is a law. The president don't have the power to pass the budget. The legislature have the power to make sure that the budget serves the Liberian people. That is one of the major reasons why they are employed. So if the budget fails, you can blame the executive, you blame the legislature, because it is their responsibility. You see?
Okay, Mr. Bacon, you're taking notes. Jerry, are you there?
I think you frozen.
Yeah, I saw you taking notes.
I'm here.
Let's just bring you here. So what is the way forward? What are we moving forward? What is your own anticipation? What should we expect? Would there be any new systems, new way of getting things done? Or we're going to come back here again, starting January 1st to July, whatever, it's going to be the same old thing, and then we're going to find another backup to say, oh, because of this and that, and this is why we are here. What should we, moving forward, what is your own anticipation? We want, and let me be clear here, having this conversation does not in any way critically here review, does not suggest that someone here or somebody, just there's no any patriotic Liberian, any citizen that would not, whether you disagree with, you would not want your government to succeed, because when the government succeeds, it's good for the country. It stabilizes situation in the country. The country is at peace, and it's better for all of us. So we are having these for these people who are policy maker, decision maker, that we get to know, because if we don't talk about it, they feel that, oh, everything is just okay, everything is not okay. They need to be having this sort of lengthy conversation. If this budget, if you look at these people, if you look at budget, it addresses everything, how the money is going to be allocated, what for what, where go to education, where go to this sanitation, where go to this, the police. I mean, everything, because that it is what makes the government to function as an institution. But sometimes we even blame like the police just to come in. But how much is given? Are they equipped to come back considering what we came from as a country, as a nation, and with the kind of group of society that we have now, where you don't have police zone depot in the different it used to be, that they can respond to something, that somebody got to come from West Central or something, they got to get back up from Monrovia to go to Banga and places and things like that. So there must be a comprehensive, there must be a real national conversation, and we need to hold our lawmakers responsible, whether we are doing it or not, or we are doing enough, that I don't know. Mr. Bacon.
Thank you. My brother Terry spoke on the legislature or passed a bill or something. Well, the duration of argue on the bill, the horse were in disarray. We got a black 1, black 2, black 3, black 5, whatever black you want to put it in. So it was like a going drive through. And people just carry, and carry it. But all sincereness. I was thinking something when you guys were talking. One of the things for the government to grow is the local government. The superintendents and think they are in the various counties. It's their responsibility. What are the agenda for the national government, and what is the national government responsibility to make sure the counties are accountable? The Minister of Internal Affairs. Look at the counties. Look, Maserata, yes, it's a buffing ground. But what happened to the counties? I thought by now the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, there should be a mandate that look, we need a comprehensive report from the various county. You meet with the various counties. In fact, most of the county leadership, because the constituent, they are the buffer zone for the government. If the counties are doing well, the national government succeed. So these are the things the national government have to look at the Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. You every 6 weeks tell the people, say, look, this is what I expect of you. And I want this report at so time to see where we are. Do a follow-up. But we send the money to the various counties, and there's no follow-up. By the time I leave Monrovia, might give you a or what the plane is, bombing, they all evaporate. There's no accountability. We need this thing. The counties are suffering. The counties are suffering. Where is the leadership for us to say, yes, we train these people for them to come to participate in the government. Have a workshop, for example. Let's talk about the education system. How many children, they are underage, they are still not in school, or there are people who overage, they are still in school, probably some of them 15, 10 years old, they're in what, 2nd or 3rd grade. If there are any statistics to that, how do we deal with this issue? Or other children? Look, let be realistic. There's a social issue here. We don't even know how many children born with their age in this country, in our country, in the 21st century. Children born today, there's no birth certificate. How do they get a passport if they want to get a passport? How do we get a complete accuracy of the child that was born in Doru? There's no health center there. So that child, oh, you know what? Yeah, I think so. But we should have a statistic. That child was born so day. We have to change. We have to put focus on our local government for the government to grow. We have a unique system. The central government is the same way as French government. Our system is modern out of the French government. Go do your research. We got central government. Why we can't execute it? Look at, if you look at the country, Liberia, let's go to 70, 80. We had Air Liberia, domestic flight. Today, there's no domestic flight anymore. You could leave Monrovia and go to Grand Judea. From Grand Judea, you go to, they go to Vieswa. From Vieswa, you could travel. We got Air Liberia. Where's the Air Liberia today? So these things we need to sit down and do complete analysis and overhaul our government. In order for the government to function. Our government to function, we got to go back to the local government for it to function. Other than that, we'll be here and say, Tabata all day.
Yeah, but I mean, what you're talking about now, we need to take a review of our constitutions. I mean, like in the old times, we need to return to this municipal style of government where we elect our city mayor, county superintendent, commissioner, not president, appointing clan chief, town chief, and all of that until that can be done. But ultimately, for now, it is the executive that grabs the agenda of the country and present it to the legislature, and I take a review. So always saying, yes, it's true, but you have to deliver, unveil that package. This is what I want to see happening in my government. Put it forward, put it out there. If they don't follow suit, if something is not done, then we take it. We say, okay, let's say maybe we need like $100 billion to make Liberia for reconstruction, rebuilding of Liberia. And this is what I want to see happening. You put that into, you put that into order and see nothing is. But let me just take the call here.
No, hold on. Before the caller comes, before I forget my talk. 1 second, please. Let me say this. Ellen Johnson administration, go back. For all the years, how much I've been on the earth, all the years in Liberia, there always have been the city mayor. Go back 1979, 1980, before the coup happened. Juju Hutchins for what? Emma Sawyer. It was a big thing. Maybe you myself, we are the same age group here, almost. But it was very tense. Juju Hutchins for Emma Sawyer before the coup took place. City mayor of Monrovia. It was very tense. When Ellen Johnson came, what she said? She didn't have money, so she wanted to get leverage over the Tanchi and Clancy. Today, the Clancy and Tanchi have been appointed. There's no legislature to that effect. The legislature instead need to go and ratify that, because today it's a norm in our country. There's no legislature. All Ellen Johnson said was, the former president said was, I don't have money, so for that reason, let me appoint these people. And they bought the idea. The same way today, we and the Ru people, we stay on Nima County because Barclay said we were too far from Riverside, so for that reason, we won't go to one on Nima County to pay taxes. Today, we stay in Nima County. So these are some of the things. But this is what I want to say, folks. It is time, let somebody have the high hand and go back and say, Mr. President, this can't continue. It was appointed positions, the position we cannot appoint people, they are elected position. The Clancy were elected, Clancy were elected. The only people who were appointed were district attorney, the district commissioner. So, but I mean, there's another time for us to talk about it. But so if we can change this system, the government is overloaded with employees. It becomes like it's the only way of survival in Liberia. The only way you can survive in Liberia, you got to work for the government. And it's time for us to start.
I wanted to respond to Mr. Bacon, but after the caller. On one issue you raised, Mr.
Okay, so let's see here. We got another headache conversation coming in. Breakable.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for the show. Look, it's so bad me sit down and listen to my brother Terry. Terry, listen. First of all, let me correct you. Because we have never made a statement like you made. That was a blatant lie I just told. Listen, it was a time when the president said, Jawab bide. When it's a time for your worry, when that's his time, he said, said, Also, everybody in the country friendly, you want not so somebody and good than it. He said the thing you're doing now. When somebody one person, you're a simple way to say, oh, my brother, oh, my brother, oh, my brother. I don't have to my correction, but prosecute you now. If you hold one person now, you send it Saturday. That's the time you go, the my son. Most of the people are the people who in jail are done. That's the time you are statement. And secondly, no, tell me. Because we were there for 6 years. In the 6 years, one day, the university not close. There's a 10 months going on now.
Are you kidding me?
In college.
I don't get what kind of. Anyway, there he go ahead.
Sorry, listen. Yeah, you talk all the time about when I show them talk my thing. I begin. Listen, that's almost 10 months is going on. In the 10 months, it run almost semesters for somebody can get degree. I always it that way. People to university close for almost 10 months. People try to sit down in the house. The mayor say, okay, to rescue. People get to rescue. They're not going to school. The men are not no book. Bring free situation in our country. People are going to school. Gala people guiding. He says here. You know people guiding in university. He got people to sit down on the bench. You can't rescue. Sorry. No. Today, I'm not talking about my brother, my uncle, Mr. Bago. He very, I don't know what to say. He came to the assessment, but I know Mr. Todd is talking to him. This is why I want for you to say, Terry, the word Mr. Bago saying. You keep for rescue. You did all your tabata, all that time you're making campaign, you knew all what happened in a country. Look, the bad thing, the whole thing, the person was in government for 45 years. 12 years of bad person, you know what the problem is about. The difficulty in our country that suffering that flow, the president know ABC from there. So you take us again. As a soul, you know all. So big president and so I think that somebody in Kabimu is promoting everybody. No. In just 1 year, what is happening in our country is terrible, Terry. It's beyond terrible. West beyond West. Everything they complain on is doing it over and over. People are dying because of survival. You're making everything difficult for people to live. And you hear talking about everything. Look at what's happening. All the people are burning. Have you seen the president go to my house? But you're share money on people. I need to share money. They play automatic. Somebody right playing. The president Hamilton go outside in the 1 year. They say probably they use it. You not see what I'm talking, but you hear it talking to you in land. The war you kill on rescue. But now, I think you are doing everything the past government. But you are doing everything I hear from you. And the past president said it. And the past president do it. And the past government do it. That's what you doing. Repeating and even doing worse than the past government. It's bad, Terry. You got to come to yourself. Start spelling a title. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. You talked about that. So they want joy. We are saying to our NF voting. Good night.
No, listen. No, listen. 1 second. Let me listen, Mr. So. They control in, no matter you turn around. If you want one person, the other person can. That statement or not correct statement, but in a sense that everything that happened in a country, if you want one person,
you are not correct in the sense you want to make it correct. Okay, good night. All right, you're the one get a problem, sir. All right, you get a problem.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you.
Thank you.
Okay. Breakable. My goodness. Yeah, Terry, come on.
Yeah, this is Front Page Magazine, right? Let me quote the exact statement President Weah said. He said, to fight corruption is difficult because everybody is connected somehow in the country. So if you don't know that he said it, go back. That's why we living in a modern society now. We get social media. Go back and do your research or something. And the Rwanda here put it rightly that he connected with Madame Shirley. Madame Shirley made almost the same statement before. All right, and it's all there. He said that to fight corruption is difficult because everybody is connected somehow in the country. That is what your former president said. However, we have to be patriotic, and that is what I try to be on this network. I try to be patriotic. To the issue Mr. Bacon said about the legislature shouldn't have passed that budget That's why the president had the power to extend the legislature time, pay them more money, and let them extend the time to discuss the budget, because the budget is going to go for 1 year. That's a 1 year stretch. So you can't just pass a 1 year budget that controls everything in the country, everything, even the central government you're talking about, they're depending on our budget. So if that budget did not meet the necessity of the central government, that means that your government is set to fail for 2025. All these resolution you're making for 2025, the projection, the anticipation of what will President Boka do in 2025, everything is tied to that particular budget. So if that budget is not going to reflect major areas that's supposed to be impacted, health sector, education, roads, if it is not going to affect those areas, you do not expect President Boka to do much in 2025. And that is why I have already concluded and projected that President Boka will not be able to accomplish many things in 2025 that the Liberian people are expecting for him to accomplish, because looking at the budget and looking at the pundits or the players that are going to be controlling the budget, you already get the hint that the budget is going to fail. And the way the budget was passed by the legislature is a clear indication that the budget will fail.
So who controlling the budget? When you say the pundits, who are you referring to?
Well, there are key players, Mr. So. Like, for example, I don't like the guy that is over the road, the Gideon's man. Up to now, we don't have adequate understanding of 22 million. If the last time I checked, or I think Gafwan said that there is $50 million in the budget for road connectivity, rehabilitation, all of that. Gideon last time said he spent only $8 million. We don't know. The legislature is supposed to checkmate these people. You don't just give the people money. You're supposed to call these people and get and evaluate how these money are being spent. So if the legislature fails, which I'm seeing there's a serious failure going on in the legislature on the grounds of the way they passed the budget, the concordance, the fast and rapid concordance with the executive does not augur well. Because the reason why we have 3 branches of government is that they have separate responsibility for the betterment of the country and the people. So if the first branch of government fails, that is supposed to initiate laws to benefit the people, then tell me now how will you don't depend on the executive to the executive only enforce the law. The legislature are the ones that make the laws that are supposed to benefit the people. And one of the major bills in the country is the money. Because
Okay.
everybody so if you giving Gideon that couldn't give us proper explanation of how he spent 22 million, you're giving him $50 million, then how will you expect a proper road connectivity and development to go on in the next 1 year?
Okay,
A
let's
man
go
who
to
went to the Senate the last time I checked and told the Liberian Senate that he's sorry he did not follow the right procedure, the PPCC, and anyway, these are the things I believe that we are failing to accomplish.
Okay, I get a caller here. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So, I'm here.
Good evening to welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Joyce. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay.
Oh, God. Mr. So, we are all Liberians. I always say this. We need to start pointing finger at another person. The Unity Party came to fix the wrong that George Weah did for 6 years. He took Liberia back 100 years. So Mr. Parker, President Parker and his team, they came to fix Liberia. Mr. So to be honest, I am so frustrated because when the president made a statement, then they going back to the church we are 1 year in the office. The statement that he made, then they comparing it with Joseph Parker's statement to make clarity. We will not build Liberia that. When Joe we have made those statements, The whole world call on George Weah. Joseph Parker bring this statement. We need to make him to know that the statement he made is wrong.
So, Joseph,
we need not to compare you to George Weah regime. George Weah said a thing, and George Weah did a thing. This is Joseph Parker time, so Joseph Parker must say the same thing. It is wrong, Mr. So. Mr. President said, this is the place when you come. Maybe I'm continuing, but there's a place you come. Nobody can do you. When somebody invite you to eat, then you come, then you ask, who here is this? I invite you to come eat my rest, I eating a pen. I said, Mr. So come and eat. Then you ask me, who here is this? So he's spoken parable, but everybody going to carry their own interpretation. That's Lpr for us. Mr. Boka, President Boka can say, we are enough or you're going to fix the rule, and we expect the president in the first 1 year not to fix the whole of Lpr. Because in 6 years, Lpr will not going to do the Tuba, Lpr going to do the Minneapolis. Now, say Minnesota, I guess Minneapolis. Lpr not going to look at that in 6 years' time. Mr. George, we are did 1%, and Mr. Parker staff on the 1%, and continues it to the next one, the next person will build Lpr. But if Mr. John, we are did 1%, and you condemn everything. You want to start everything. Oh, he said he destroyed the whole country, so he started everything. And he started everything they have stored I don't know how many millions of dollars. You give somebody $22 million to fix road in the rain season. Rain season, you give somebody $22 million to fix road. We still they didn't see the road. Before Joseph Parker was saw in that to say I saw on the soil. His state name cost I don't know how many $1,000 millions of dollars to buy cars. I ain't even sure I even see the cars saying he bought yet. But we're still comparing 1 year of Joseph Parker to we are 6 years that he stayed in the office. We need to stop. We need to stress on our government to start from where they came from. They came to fix the country. We need not to compare. Mon job, we are saying, I'm going to get CC camera. It's not finished now. We interpret it the wrong way. In America, when everybody can CC camera for our own security. Everybody can CC camera on their cell phone for our own security. We don't blame the government for that. That people we need to build up because there are so many deaths in the country. There are so many people concrete small. But we blame George Weah for what Joseph Parker have not done yet. For the 1 year Joseph Parker, President Parker staying in office, they will calculate the amount of time he traveled to a amount of time because they will say the time George Weah traveled in 6 years time is equal to Joseph Parker 1 year time he traveled. On George Weah traveled 6 years, he brought something back, but for 1 year, our person had been traveling. He told Margaret Fung, he said, Guinea and Liberia, they have good relationship because the Guinea president gave me a 7 pickup. 7 pickup. So a whole country is this what we said in our repetition for 7 pickup.
Okay, so let's have a conversation here. Joyce, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling in and happy belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You see, and we value people. You come here, you listen. So when you call, very suddenly we might be able to have this sort of conversation here. So how are you saying? Are you a supporter of former President George Weah? It seems like
I'm not a citizen. I've been saying it for January to December. I am not a citizen. I want to know George Weah from the time you playing football before you become star.
No, I say, are you a supporter?
Yes, I know him very well. So I'm a supporter of the government.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm asking.
A supporter of that government.
So, were there things you as a supporter who wants to see a government to be successful? Were there some things? Were there things that you frown on doing?
Oh yes, there are a lot of mistakes, Mr. So I will not say they were 100%. If I say I'd be a liar. There are a lot of mistakes. Big mistakes too. Because for example, the justice minister, he did a lot of mistakes that Today made like that. Today made the judicial system will all get complete on it. Because, for example, the global Muslim starting. If they have not put people in the street to protest against, because I was supporter of that government, and we protest justice to the country. They made mistakes. I won't say 100%. Some of the ministers and some of the statements they made a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
They were not 100%. The president himself made some mistakes. Because the time we found him to fire some people then, he did not fire some people then.
Okay.
You got mistake in making it in your government too.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so
much. You made a lot of mistakes, Mr. So I will not say you 100%. I've been lying to you. I'm not even people down. I'm not even support him go to school. I'm not even support hungry. It was not 100%. But he did his best to care that what the way is to our president. Not because you said, because yes, my president, I'm on Liberia. He's supposed to start from where we start to carry out to the next following year. We need not to go back. Because if we continue, we'll create the president for the people on social media to say, Joe, we are to be compared. We are not supposed to compare. We should move on. We should say, oh, they want year, Mr. President Boka staying here. This is what he did. They are doing some good things, Mr. So I'm not to you. But because of the negativity, good thing they are doing. Okay. I see the last time they put picture on face for the faces on roads. But we don't hear about it in the streets. Okay. Because you see that in there, and tell us, you encouraging those that want to steal, they will call every good thing that you're doing in the country.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we need to put our president, our minister, they should focus on our Liberian people because school is very important in Liberia. We have some school and OP, so we need not to listen that Mr. Baka came to straighten our country. We pray that he straighten the country 2025 for everyone to know how to go back for vacation. Thank you, Mr. So.
There you go. And the reason we're giving the limited time because these ladies are a follower, they don't usually call. So when they call, we must just pay attention to make them to feel part of the process and let them speak their mind. Let's go to Clarence Davis. Clarence, good evening.
Hey, Mr. So, how you doing?
Good, good. Let's hear your tabata.
What is Bloku tonight?
Bloku?
What is Mr. Bloku? Why is he tonight?
Bloku is on the run. They are waiting for you. I don't care how long it takes you to come here. He know when you see it that now they are not get hold of him. So he's not going to show face right now. Trust me.
I know there's almost like a year-end review that people are doing tonight. You know, one good thing about LPR, you know, they get the opportunity to express our dissatisfaction and our satisfaction we show. When it comes to Baka, comparing Baka and Joey administration, I see a great difference between Baka and Joey. And you know, as a leader, if you want to succeed, don't always make comparison. That oh, the other person do this one here, so myself do this something about work, so that your work will serve today as an evidence that the people will say, yeah, this is what a leader did. When it comes to we are 4-year administration, we saw a disaster where we were breaking our structure, building and economy all over. And in our same 4 years, they get on the mobile SSI, and we almost $30 or $25 or $30 million, Sunday to them, fund that money. When it comes to Joseph Barker, we are seeing different, a little different in between it because Joseph Barker, when I may say, being at the morning I was given to the public, Mr. what Terry was talking about. And we never see actual way that they are public ministers, they will money. And the public minister is still maintaining a position. But when it comes to the listening, the leader that are listening, to me, Joseph Barker also listen to the choir of the sense because happy to there were a whole lot of people that condemn the government. And Joseph Barker listened to the public and took the action. But this is never happened in the real time. And we don't want to compare both leaders together because what we are seeking for is better Nigeria. When Liberia be better, whosoever is there, you can go and get your driver, nobody will have time for you. But the country is struggling. When people sitting in the country cannot even earn money, they cannot even have a daily bread. It makes it difficult for people to know what a good thing is happening in the country or bad things happening in the country. So we all got to pray for that country. The homie is old. Of course, he old. But he had a leadership ability. He had a leadership ability. And I'm looking at 2025, that they did great teaching. I don't think Jota Baka will continue with their power 2025. There will be a lot of change in 2025.
So let me ask you, Clarence, all of us have a shared responsibility when it comes to Liberia. How you say it, how you talk it, is your government, is our government. Do you have a cutoff time when 25 will be a change? That's an open-ended subject. Do you have a cutoff time to say, hey, even though I'm a supporter, even though I'm a sympathizer, I anticipated having these things done, but this is a cutoff period time. Do you have a cutoff period time to see?
Yeah, Mr. So I think the supporter of Joseph Barker and the supporter of Jovia, we support Joseph Barker, but we are not being quiet. When there's an error in Joseph Barker government, we can come on the air and talk about it. This is not happening.
No, I'm not even talking. I'm talking about what I'm after to results oriented. I want to see something. I'm tired with this sort of blame game. Oh, when they want to do this, you're not fired, they want to fire. Okay, you fire what next? Because when people are fired, my assumption, I believe, wrong is being done. And when wrong is done, when there is a violation, people should be they must be held accountable and not just fire and walk away free or say, okay, because he leave, man, that's it. That is still insufficient. And I would, if that happens, I feel that person rights been to violated. If I'm fired from job for doing something, I must be tried and I must be vindicated. So that way it will be reflected. So I'm just only asking you, what is your cutoff time in terms of results to see things happening, things functioning?
What I said on Mr. Tosho the other time, that if somebody steals or somebody alleged or stealing, and you suspending that person and taking that person out of the job, that person is going with the media and the country is still suffering. To me, if somebody is alleged or are being caught on stealing, the person should be brought to justice. Let the person get the money back instead of you suspending the person going home, sitting with the money getting at the end of the day, the person coming to run for another position in the government. So if this continues, to me, like people should get that 20-25 years of Jota Baka, and get there because know that the honeymoon is already over. Don't see whether you will make a difference. The experience we were pushing, don't wait and see whether you will really, exhibit the experience in 2025.
Okay.
And like the country, like we are so sympathetic in the scene that even somebody see from we say, oh, I need that net bail house in the community. It don't need bail house in the community. It don't benefiting you and your family, benefiting your children education.
Okay, thank you so much.
We have been going on wrong.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right. Liberians speaking their minds. Let's welcome Mr. Moses and with social questions. See then, other than everybody just in the last 9 months, they are all grown, looking good and everything like that. That's great. All fingers are not equal. So
you were able to win You were able to win Mr. Barkon yesterday because you went to a horse. So a whole tune changed today. But it's okay. We got Mr. Moses here. Mr.
Yeah, look, this is what
I know we're gonna hammer you knock on the security analyst here. The whole tune changed.
Yeah. Hey, let me not you to have
Matu, I changed. It's the same thing. I've not changed. I'm going to do what I have to do. Go ahead. Anyway, that's good. That's what that process is all about. Welcome, Mr. Assembly.
I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, it's my frustration.
Get a glass of water. You'll be all right.
You see, yeah, you're right. I'll be okay. But here is my frustration in the sense that I'm just sick and tired with this sort of excuse. This they want do they and they want at least they want better. No, if it is not done right, it is not done right. We all know, and we have talked about it here, how people from nowhere, for whatever reason, became rich and wealthy people in Liberia under the watch of George Weah. He then, as a president at the time, when he was opposition, we didn't see this massive construction, blah, blah, blah. He became president, and we saw these hell of a demolition exercises, building these duplexes and things all around. Okay, here is the old man who also came, who knows government, who knows how government works, who we expect, if not immediately, brought some progressive actions to deter, to send a line warning. The very George Weah government enlisted some people involved in corruption, all right? And not much is being done. We are in a 1 year, those people. We need to know whether they are clear or whether they were corrupt people, whether they used state resources to enrich themselves, thus making them to disenfranchise other people, financial liberties. We need to know. So why is this thing is still order? And like a policeman come arrest people in the town because they are disturbing, and hey, you shouldn't do this at certain time of the night. The night needs to be quiet because the security needs to monitor what is going on. Instead, the police himself took the drum and began to beat his samba. That's how it looks like. So Moses, if we are saying this, the reactions, the seditions come and defend their president, and you have you coming in place, say, yeah, maybe 10 or 15 people were involved, listed in the past government, and those reports were passed over to you. So then what is the hold up to follow through to make sure what they told us is right or not? And for us to be having a sort of visual involving thing, we go in front, we come back, and we are not going anywhere. You dismiss, yeah, the goal. So what next? Why should we continue to be in this thing? Because who knows, potentially after 2029, this same conversation going to be going on again with the same old people. Because it's the same, we are syndrome, we are the same. So the Moses was corrupt. They will tell you Moses' other friend is Terry, then Jerry. I'm not part of yours, so I'm just going to put 3 of yours together. I will tell Moses now, then Terry too, Terry will come in, we'll take Terry, then Jerry will go back on, will come in. Then when back on is grab, obviously they will get hold of the liberal.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. I tried to get on the show earlier, and I listened to part of the conversation, and I just want to get in to be a part of this conversation. Mr. Soros, it's mind-boggling for me for you to ask such questions, for the simple fact that we saw these things happen. And we can on two hands count some of the folks that were really affected, that enriched themselves during the Taylor administration, during the Ellens administration, and during the Weah administration. We know that those things have been ongoing, and the only administration to put in some place some kind of a process. Attempted, let me say this, let me correct myself, attempted to put in a process was Barker government when he talked about assets recovery and tried to say, some of the things that have been going on and see how the country can reap back the benefit of those assets that were stolen from the country. But again, when the people are not educated enough and they elect people like Edwin Snow, who enriched himself through the work of his affiliation with Chancellor, and then move on to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and then move on to Josh Weah, is a perpetuation, those kinds of things. I remember when I was a little boy growing up, and I think people here can attest to it, we never saw people investing money. I'm talking about Liberian people investing time in creating worth as far as in the market or doing businesses. The businesses were run by the Lebanese, the Fanti people, and other foreigners, Nigerian people. They would say, go to the Nigerian people shop on the road. Okay? Our training as young people growing up was to see people in big cars, and we all worked. We went to school because we needed to work for the government, either to be minister, to ride a big car, and to do the thing. We never went to school to become carpenter and all that kind of stuff. So you got to understand the mindset, the corrupt mindset of us growing up at the time. It's not until we came here before we started to see some of the things. Not to take away from some of the richest people in our country who were market women, who sold bitter ball and oil in the market. Those people have money, and they build beautiful houses. So when we talk about people stealing in the country, it has been a generational thing for leaders in Liberia. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to see an effect of that immediately when the government get in place. They might put the instrument in place, but it has to work with the legislature and the judiciary to make sure that there's a follow through to that. When you got in your the so-called minority, the so-called speaker, what kind of business he had? And I'm not saying this to be malicious, but I can tell you, when you got the speaker, law firm affiliated with the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and her sister, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf went to delegate the speakers, Fanaki Kofa and her sister's law firm. That means every contract coming into the country will go to that law firm. And those are some of the reasons why we see what's going on today in our country, because people don't understand the conflict of interest in our country. Certain people cannot need to give up their affiliation with certain entity to become leaders in the country, because there's a conflict. And we don't do those things because the people are not educated to it. They put their names on the ballot. We got people with censure. I can't say that enough. We got people that that they have international sanctions on, and they represent us in the House of Representatives. And for the same reason of embezzling money and stealing government money, that's why they have sanctions. But instead, elect them to government positions, so-called election to government positions. The McGill, the Amara Conant, still got a $3 million hanging over his head before he left the Ministry of Finance. He comes back and he's a hero. Now he's a senator. So when you talk about trying to correct these things, there's a whole lot of what you call the word, a whole lot of variables that are connected to it. I was listening to you guys, and I was looking at, the Providence school budget. The place you live, Providence. The school budget for Providence is $301 million. That's the school budget. In the smallest state with the most population. And look at Liberian people budget. Look at the whole country budget. Look at the entire country budget. It's ridiculous. But we can't. Very ridiculous. We can't generate a revenue to sustain all of the areas of interest, healthcare, national security, and those areas. We take the revenue and put it in our pockets. That's why we're not generating the revenue. So that question you asked, Brother Cyril, is very difficult for any individual to sit here and say they have an answer to it. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take good governance. It's going to take accountability, and the accountability be around it's for everyone, not just leaders, even the citizens.
Yeah.
Even the citizens need to be held accountable for what they support, what they don't support. There has to be some kind of education of these things. And that's why I like this show. And that's why I only come here. Because you allow us to express ourselves in an independent sense. Even though you say sometimes we'll put everything there and you be coming with all those innuendos. But you're still the CEO, and I can't tell you thank you enough, because what we're doing, if we say nonsense, the people can make sense out of it, at least. You know, I was just
let me ask you.
private budgets and all that stuff. We expect our police officers to work when they're totally incapable, don't have the training, don't have the logistics, are not paid competent salary, are not held accountable to their jobs.
So,
perform miracles.
You see, this is
You see,
this is a this is the final series for this it's the Examiner here, and I'm gonna throw it as it is, whether you like it or not. No, and I always told Mr. Bacon, because I know the kind of documents proposal that you forwarded to the governor of Liberia. Assessment went on from Helen Johnson Sirleaf. You supported this president. I don't know, but for me, before I get in something, I must, to be honest, I'll have to make sure my identity is established. My role is, I'm not going to talk for free. I don't know whether you were doing it on a humanitarian ground or you were doing it to go at the end of the day. Because politics, whether we like it or not, is all about interest, and that interest is inclusion to get things changed, to make things work, and to kind of like set a new stage. Are these guys cutting off ties with you people who have worked here so long to get this president? Because to be honest, that's some of the talking drum we are getting here. And that even happens when the president came here. The movement, Boyka, you are former Royal Islanders. The movement for Boyka here is very strong in the New England Bell, which Mr. Bacon, he's still in the picture because for the president, I mean, that was one more. But to be honest here, is there disconnect, Mr. Stewart? Why are you still here? I don't understand. And we're talking about all of these elapses in the security. Who has created this corridor? Who put this black Chinese thing in the way? You know, every government, they get people who can be the showstopper. And that's a sickening thing about it. People that you know that in the vanguard, when the town reps, sooner or later, these people are sidelined, and you see people that are nowhere around. So now, while they're talking, it's never going to be, nothing going to happen.
Mr. Swords, you asked a very important question, and that's what I like about you. And I can tell you that you can own a right proposal and give it to people, and they'll have to see what they can do with it. You know, many of us left. If you ask any average child growing up in Liberia in the 70s and the 80s, as we were talking about going to seek further studies, and that further studies were pretty much geared towards going back home and contributing. Today, the people see us who have come here, went to school, have experiences in the different areas of expertise as enemies. You go to Liberia, anybody going to Liberia from the States, people don't even want to talk to you. If they see you at the club, then you have you'll sit down there. Oh, my man, you want one bottle of beer? I don't drink alcohol. I don't want beer. Thank you very much. But after that, that's it. You go in there, you call people. If the people know you're coming in town, they already got a blockade. And that because they know what you stand for. Some of our own friends have these conversations with us off the radio. You know, you go down there and talk to you. Then when they see him, oh, man, you're in town. You see, so they're not. We have human resources that we're not taking advantage of. And this is not just the Boyka's administration. It happened in all administration, post-war. In Ellen's administration, there are a lot of opportunities. And what happened is that we have a batch of people who have just been reshuffled from one government to the other. Now, if someone worked for Ellen, okay, and there was nothing happening in Ellen administration, what makes you think when it comes to Barker administration something will change?
Okay.
That's my response to it. Because they can't say that Liberia is brain drain. Liberia is not brain drain. We got a lot of brains. And let me quote the vice president, the president. When Barker came here in Providence, you were there. Barker was there. He said that the diaspora played a very important role in this election process, the recent election process. And I think he was getting his thing from the fact that the people in the diaspora, I would say this, I've been doing this for a long time. I'll say this tonight. The people in the diaspora supporting all the candidates in Liberia were able to disburse well over $700 million to Liberia for this last election. But the people in the diaspora cannot even do anything condition. So what goes the $700 million that went to Liberia for the campaign, and the Liberian government budget is not even equivalent to that?
Your money inside too, right?
I don't have money inside. Your money inside too.
700,000.
Your money inside too.
Okay. My money not there. I never support it. I never support any campaign. My money into the economy, which is okay.
So we also send money to your people and try to influence them. That's part of the contribution to the campaign.
Okay, let me go to Mr. Tagia and to Mr. Bakonye. Hi, happy belated Merry Christmas, and thank you for always being part of our conversation here. Good evening, welcome. Yeah, Julia, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, so thank you for taking my call. You know, the last time I was listening to your show, somebody made a statement, especially when it came to the Walker Code, and they were saying, oh, the legislator have to pass bill for them to agree. My question to this person was, when they brought war into the country, did they pass a bill for them to kill 250,000 people? Why would Joseph Barker consider to track this thing? Oh, you're waiting for America to give him money before he prosecute people. If you have the power that be that back you. Look, I had a proposal. We don't need war crime code in our country. I'm just going off the top a little bit because the last time when the president made a statement, which is one of your penalties, it really bought my blood. If I were the president tonight, we don't need war crime code in our country. Joseph Barker need to take this justice thing serious. If you don't take it serious, we're not going nowhere. I don't care how many money we pump into Liberia, we are not going anywhere. If you're not punishing people for stealing, we're not going nowhere. You can't have your house, your children stealing outside, then you expect God to be happy and your neighbor will be happy. Every day there will be complaint, police coming to your house for your children business, and you will not be happy to perish. So they say about how they're going to do Liberia move forward. Liberia ain't going nowhere. 2008, I had a dream. The president told me in my dream, Liberia not going nowhere. And I get to believe what the president told me. He said 2008 to up to now. The president told me, the president said Liberia not changing. He said Liberia haven't learned anything from the war, and Liberia will not go anywhere. And under Joseph Barker, I was expecting it to go somewhere. When he first started, as a recovery, no here, no there. He jumped on you. They always was taking the speakership. How can you win that one? Because opposition are weak. But then after that, what? Our capital city burned down. Well, is that a rescue mission you brought for our capital city to burn down? Our capital building burned down? That better not going nowhere. We'll continue to turn anything else. They go carry on some more.
That person who told you lie to you.
Carry on. That will still be the same. Until we have a serious president who will punish people and take and forget about war. Look, we don't need war crime code. Joseph Barker need to hire a law firm to bring charges against people. Every country doing it. Every country prosecuted their own president by carrying into the war crime code. So why is it that Liberia do the same thing? We hire a law firm, let the law firm look at the TRC report, look at the crime people committed in Liberia, and bring charges against them, It will all lead to the cost. But you keep talking, oh, we need to pass a bill. Then the people pass a bill to kill 250,000 in Liberia. If that was the case, then people would have left the country. But then rebel, they can't kill people. Then they say they ready more. They expect God to be happy to bless Liberia. They say, oh yeah, 250 people died. Then we just forget about it. Oh, bless Liberia. It's not going to happen. They probably will be there killed. We address this particular problem, the 250,000 people that died. And God still giving life to these people. Who did this crime? Some of them still living. Or did Joseph Boakai can take this thing serious? Trust that baby, we ain't going nowhere. Thank you.
Okay, well, this is LPR. Views expressed on this network are not views of this network, but we do facilitate these high, cold, and painful conversations, thus making no one to leave behind. Mr. Bacont, I know time later away now, we're going to be going. And I think I've said this over and over because, but you know, the thing about it, you people too, your politicians, we had someone here yesterday. We were talking and talked. They were incorporated in government, friends, and that's exactly. You were at the program, and I was surprised. Just what Moses said. For me, I don't have secret. Ellison Zina from all of the ELBC, he was the moderator. You were there. Something he said was very profound. People then, I don't know how many people really pay attention. But I think the president was there, and because when something is being withheld for for long, and they have little opportunity to say, and it was right in the order. I got a video here. Well, there were, Mr. President, those are people who were all out there campaigning. And don't get me wrong, not everyone that canvassed for the president will be incorporated, but we have people who are competent, they can go certain places and can, hopefully they can produce a result. And by then, just even going down, and they created a sort of blockade that they could not have. And I know it's different from being a candidate, from being a president. But there are certain faces, there are certain voices, there are certain people. And you, Jerry, you that I know, everything about Joseph Boakai is you. Not necessarily because you want a job, you're doing very great, you're doing well here, but to tap into your expertise, and then you go, and then you see people who, when they come here, you were doing everything you're supposed to do, but by the time they see you on the ground, then they create that sort of blockade. And Moses, you're quite correct. Because I very first thing, people who are friends with you when you go say, hey, my man, how you doing here? The first question is, you here to stay or you visiting? So when you go to people's offices, when they ask you this sort of question, that's a hair scratching. Insecurity, not insecurity that you want to harm them. Wait a minute, is this guy here to come take my daily bread? That's how they feel. But they don't even understand the survival of these very people to get them to those positions, the kind of money that's being raised from overseas to campaigns, presidential, senatorial, and all of the representative. But at the end of the day, when you go low, Safini, they close the door. Now, let me ask you, I always call you Boakai. Even I can call you Boakai, I don't know what that. Last name not B, so that's the same thing. So when we see some, what about administrative changes? I'm not sure whether it is the solution, because when people are there and something done, badly done or wrongfully done, in order for us to know what is wrong is to have a sort of an investigation, all of that. But if nothing is done, I don't know. What we see in 2025 now, Sylvester Grisby is thinking about going out. Lately, I don't know how true it is, that Grisby was saying really opted to taking this job. The president being a friend, they ask him to see whether he can come and get things stabilized, being the guy who be in government, who be in the system, to see whether some sort of structure or something is being laid out. He's going to be going. The presidential affairs minister is not a prime minister. He's there to get the president's agendas and different things. What kind of presidential affairs minister do you think that President Boakai will bring closer to see that there's, at the end of the day, we end up bringing, you saw what happened, everything was magay. Okay, fair to say. But we don't know whether Mangetu on the other hand was telling George, we are in George, we are on the other hand say, you know what, I am George, we are in my own war, I am the boss, I am the head, I will do whatever I want to do. Obviously, he's not going to come back to tell us, say, oh, I asked the president to do that and the president didn't do it. That story, until it is, if it is told, then we will know. But I'm curious here, because the presidential affairs minister is a powerful position in our government. You get the ES of the president, literally national security advisor. You get the president ES before the president goes to bed.
It should be.
Yeah. So, Mr. Barcombs, with your expertise, who do you think, or what kind of presidential affairs minister do you want to see closer to this president? So there's all of these funny things that shouldn't be happening in the first place to avoid it.
Well, thank you. But the last quarter, thank you for your dream. But Liberia will move forward. And Liberia is not going forward. Liberia is not going nowhere. Thank you for your prophecy. But the negativities, we put it behind us. We are moving forward. So let me make that clear. When God asked Moses to take the people to the promised land, God did not tell him, say, you're going to meet a storm, you're going to meet a snake. He said, all he told him was, take my people to the promised land. And so I just want to make that clear. So thank you for your dream, but we are moving forward. Liberia is not time for all of the.
So I need that one there.
so what?
I said you my brother, so you gotta put Moses' name in.
but Moses took the people to the promised land. Moses was taken to the promised land. God asked him to take the people to the promised land. So that's what I want to say. So first of all, let's do this. Let me say this. Mr. So alluded to it. The Minister of Presidential Affairs. That's a powerful position. He is the eye of the president. He have the ears of the president. The two people that you need. They are the National Security Council, the Minister of Defense, the National Security, the NSA Director. They are all the Security Council. But these two people, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, like I said, every 6 weeks, the 15 county superintendent, there should be comprehensive reports. What are their productivities in the county? Or you mandate and say, look, AYC, look, we want to see banks, and we in the route tomorrow. How do we help you? You the client, you the tenant in that town. How do we make that we get banks in the area? How do we get healthcare in that town? You as a person, you have to engage in the community in order for the president agenda to move forward. It's left for the president, especially when it comes to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. The minister, they serve at the will of the president, especially the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs is not he not go to confirmation hearing or do this and do all this stuff. But you are almost you the chief of staff for the president. You set the agenda. You have to go to the Capitol building, talk to the legislature, talk to the senator. It's your responsibility. You are the liaison to make sure things are executed for the president of the Republic of Liberia. I don't know whether he's still going to keep his Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. It's a prerogative of the president. But I think it's about time for all to turn the page. Let's start a new life. There's some time you got to make some decision. It's not popular, but you have to make it as a leader. And then you do reassessment. So hopefully 2025, the president will come, like I said, the year of courage. And also, let's encourage our people. Let's see how best we can do. It is our country. We have to build it. We have to make some noise, like my brother said. The citizens themselves have to take some responsibility. Let me give you one example. The water and sewer. Take, for example, water and sewer. The pipe, let's not say security-wise, not say. The pipe then sort of be way underground, but they are exposed. Do you know people call the pipe? People call the pipe, they say that government water, and the water is wasting. Then they say, oh, the government got to fix it. They take their own trash and throw it behind the house, and they say, oh, the government got to pick up the trash. What is your own responsibility? You go to the hospitals. They go to the hospitals and steal the medication. And people, patient go there and they say, they are not. One of the recommendations I made that every nursing school from now on, every nursing school, third law should be taught in our bureau or nursing school, so that we know, like, because third law is a liability. They teach you your obligation. So third law need to be taught in our bureau nursing school. So when you abuse a client, you know that you are committing a crime. These are some of the things we need to start talking about. Responsibility, accountability to our citizens. They didn't say got to take responsibility. The president can do, or the how you call it, the city major can do. They will take their own trash and put it in front of their own home. Let me say this: I live in rehab. The drainage system, you know what they can do? Some of the people connect the drainage system. They connect the how you call it, separating system and into the drainage system. Then when they flush the toilet, it go into the system. Who lived there? The president of Boca lived there. You live in your house. Then instead of you to pay a separating system, because you're not paying all the places, then you connect your sewer system to the drainage system, and that way your drinking water can come from. Hey, my people, we're talking about the president. Let me really put in our simple. Hey, my people are big. Hey, let's take some responsibility. Everything will blame the president. The executive marshal into the president to the. What is your own obligation? Thank you. I can do my closing remarks.
Not necessarily blaming the president. The president is the chief executive. So when people are appointed in positions who are responsible and charged to execute and report to the president, and if some of these things are not happening, then of course the blame game comes on the president. I think that's if you ask other people, that will be their turn. And these people, they feel they can do anything and get away with it. They're not going to be reprimanded and stuff like that.
Set responsibility, set dignity yourself. Why will you flush the toilet into the drainage system? What is your responsibility? Then you say they simply just flush the toilet. Then you go sit down there.
So
then you eating the flat from your soup. Then you go eat it.
So here is a back on. And Moses, Mr. Collins, call you Moses, if you will. We here. Why do we think all of us work here? Why do you think you have some places quarterly review, supervision, blah, 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 and we do that. I have what called supervision note for my folks, and we have a monthly or quarterly supervision. It is your responsibility. If I'm managing this program, somebody is managing me. If I'm controlling 8, 7, 9%, those people, there's something in your company that you need to do this supervision. It's supervision not necessarily when it's bad. No. When they are doing good, what they're falling short, and what you can improve on. So now, if I don't do it, like in my case, and this thing it goes off hand, I am held responsible because I didn't address the situation when it started as a head of that area. I didn't address it. I never had a conversation with the staff. I didn't talk. I didn't go over policy. If there was something needs to be reviewed, probably he or she doesn't understand what is happening, the protocols and all of that. It is your job to go over it. So what appears to me, people, we assume people know these things and they don't. And nobody is checking on these people. So they just do it and they just think it's right. So as a result, we saw that happening in the George Weah government. People doing any kind of thing. People get out anywhere and speak, and it's still happening in the boycott government. The government is a well-coordinated structure, institution. You cannot, because you are maybe party secretary general or one-time party spokesperson, if you have different assigned responsibilities, that's your job. That way you're supposed to stay. If there are issues, controversial issue, national issue, you have a government, somebody that's supposed to speak for the government. Not because you go and you just get all, you go on any radio show because they call somebody, he begin to make statement. And these are things that we see happening over and over and over. These were the most least thing. We didn't see those kind of thing happening. Even if they happened, it was not as rampant as it is in the last where they said George Weah. And what is happening now? And they can turn, just wake up and they think they won't speak for the government or speak for the president. It's bad. even with this whole statement thing here, I don't think, honestly, the president meant to say it. I don't think. But why they allowed it to go so long that even because it's a holiday, when the Minister of Information, who is the spokesperson of now of the government, maybe should have just jumped in. Instead, you see the other person on the park here who work for government and come and give their own self-interpretations in their understanding. This is what the president is saying. When we continue to do that, I think then it will be too much, and then all we will be fixing things, and we are not fixing anything. We're ready to go.
Okay.
Mr. So, can I just come into what Mr. Bakun said? What you were saying is this. You also have to blame the government. I want to partly agree with him and partly disagree. If it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the responsibility of public works, all right, and I think city corporation or so, to regulate people, the partition that they're supposed to be cutting in the lands and all of that, lands, mine, energy, all those people, they're supposed to work together to partition the various homes and make sure that every house have a toilet, every house and our community is supposed to have a trash. Like in our community here in America, you have trash can, and the people come and collect the trash. So that you dispose of the trash. But in Liberia, the houses are built. The houses are built in a way that there is nowhere yet. There is nowhere to carry the trash, and it is hazardous. It is hazardous to burn the dirt. It's not good to burn the dirt. It's not even good to bury the dirt. So you have dirt piles in most areas of the city because there is no trash disposal available to take the trash away. Equally so with the alleys. There are many houses built on the alleys. There are also houses built on the drainages. That's why the drainages are not free enough to flow. And what public works doing? What land, mines, and energy doing? What the city corporation doing? What are the responsibilities? These people receive fat budgets, but we don't see what they're doing. So you are the executive responsible to enforce the law. Part of enforcing the law is to create regulations that will regulate people on how to get the dirt disposed and how to get a cleaner environment. Once those things are not put into place, you will have people clustering the dirt and having a bad environment that will pollute the atmosphere, and you will have, that is how diseases become popular. That is how people get sick and die, because that is why our environment, you have short lifespan, because they are, like the other day, I think Mr. Moses was saying it, where the people were cutting the fire off in the car with feces. You understand? In the middle of the city. So think about it.
I'm playing laughing. I said, my goodness.
Think about how many people are going to be affected in the next 6 months from now. The impact is not going to just appear on the body, but after a few months from now, there will be people getting sick, and you will not be able to control it. So it is the responsibility. That is why people blame the government for everything, because it is your responsibility to enforce the law. Part of enforcing the law is to create regulations that will handle all these things.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. And I think that gives me a leeway to step in here if the CEO would like me to just make a couple of comments.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you. Let me speak to the fact of the last call when he talked about we don't need the need to just go into war crime and charge these people, and other people did it. I stand corrected. I have not read in the Liberian Constitution anything about heinous crime that related to war crime against the people themselves. Until that statute is put in place, the justices cannot prosecute, or whoever, the Attorney General's office cannot prosecute anyone because they don't have a law to prosecute people in Liberia. That's why Charles Taylor was prosecuted under the international law for war crimes against the people of Sierra Leone. So that statute needs to be corrected, needs to be created in Liberia. That says if you do X, Y, and Z, they need to define what war crimes are in our Constitution. Once you define that, then you can elaborate on how you can violate, how someone's constitutional rights is violated by the provisions in the law. And that's what's helping to draft. The first thing is that when that TRC group were put together, some of us asked the question, on what basis? Is it based on the United Nations recommendation that it was supported, or is it based on making sure the accountability that comes with it? People tell their stories and they walk away. Up to this day, I don't think anyone has been referred for any counseling or anything for that matter, because it's not but our laws. The second thing is that when we talked about administrative responsibilities, and someone mentioned about accountability with the system, and I think you, CEO, said it right off the bat, that people need to report and they need to get quality report. Liberia lacks public administrators. Public administration tend to prepare people for these things. When you go in and doing something, your first mindset is when you're putting together policy, it has to be for the greater good of all, not for a certain class of people. Public personnel management talks about job description, accountability, performance review, and incentives come with the performance reviews. Those are things that ministers can serve. That's what the minister is there for, to provide administrative responsibility. Everybody that held a department must know something about public administration. They look at the policy, review your policy, and revise your policy based on how things are moving to bring changes for growth. But if we don't have public administrators and we have ministers in the department not doing what they're supposed to do, how do you hold a layman? Even the janitors, I will repeat it, even the janitors or the custodian, let me make it a good name. The custodian in any ministry plays a very vital role, because they walk in your ministry and they see that plate dirty, it tells you what you're running on there. I go to Liberia and I go to the ministries and I see drivers laying on the pavement. They built a little booth outside the Ministry of Justice on 9th Street and other places. The drivers sitting out there all lined up, and they have nowhere to go. And they drive their bosses and they're sitting outside and the platform, coming lay down to sleeping. Get up 5 o'clock to go pick up the bus, and they don't go to bed till 12 o'clock at night. That's abuse in my book. That's abuse. I mentioned it the last time I spoke about civic responsibility, and Jerry just alluded to that. Everyone has a responsibility to do something to advance the country. But the other thing is that the accountability has to be structured by the administration. The people of Liberia is the greatest part of the government. They decide on who go to the elected positions. And we need to begin to teach them that they got a responsibility too, to hold those people responsible if they're not delivering what they said they were going to deliver. You know? So my thing is that the whole piece with permit, you're talking about the, Jerry gave an example of people connecting their sewer system with the drainage, the Stony Wan and all those places like that. Listen, we don't even have a building code. If I went to Liberia and want to build a house, I can go build my house anywhere I want. I don't have to go to public way and tell them I need approval for building code or I need permit. We don't have it in our statute. Those are the changes that need to be made by our legislator. They're sitting on there fighting for $15,000 a month salary. Those are the things that the people need to hold them responsible for. I remember as a little boy, the health department used to put those big things on their back, and they will come spray the place for the mosquitoes. I know you guys saw that all over. You know, the Department of Health, I used to come and do that. When I came for any epidemic or prevention, they would come with their thing and give people vaccine with the little gun, pop, 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 and give it to everybody in the community. And they make sure you do your care, you take your vaccines. But those things are not happening now. Because those things are lacking because 14 years of civil war and total anarchy took away everything. So you can't advance them overnight. It's going to take time to do it. But we got to start with baby steps. We're going to start with the little things first and start holding accountable.
All right, let's, before we go here today, you're Tabata, then you're talking here.
We shut your mouth tonight, huh?
I love that somebody comment for making that's interesting. You know, I like the comment. Keep coming. Keep it coming.
You know, thank you.
So, thank you. People to take talent all day. I got to increase the dose of 1,000 milligrams now.
Well, let me thank you for saying something just now. Because the last conversation, you were so adamant about Barker making that statement, and we heard it from you tonight. At least you gave him the benefit of the doubt and said that maybe he was talking for a long time. That's why he misspoke. And when we talk about fumbling and stuff like that, and now you in the right place. But to put all the blame on Barker, I thought it was unfair to him.
No, it's a fact.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do here for y'all to realize that when your political godfathers, if they misspoke or whatever it is, and leaders, people listening to leaders, we saw what happened here. We saw what happened here when this president said what he said, the outcomes of the reactions of the Proud Boys.
We know that. We know that.
Here. So all we are saying here, people should come to a realization. See, some of the things are happening. See, I saw what happened today. 72nd day. The two people that were killed. So people's statement can be the interpretation. People can tie it with different meanings. So when you are a leader, your thought must be seasoned because people can act. They can act not like you giving them the go ahead to do it, but this is what a man said. And people act on it. Jerry, you can throw your hair, whatever you want to do it. I'm just saying, I guess my own. I'm just saying, when the president said today, I do not want to see. I can remember during the heat of the war, if you were there, when there used to be like a violations of curfew. When Samuel Doe said, I don't even DC a car that marked DC plate. We do not want, if you're now a military or paramilitary person, anybody saying in the street 1 minute after 6, there will be consequences. And we saw the repercussion. What I'm saying, the president, the leader, their words matters a lot. People take into account.
It does.
So if you say it a careless way, people will treat it that way. Because they already are evil people who already they want to do evil thing, who want to do things.
Right.
It's the same as when George Weah said, anybody who will cause the president, why people can't describe the president. And then when you to come to tell, anybody who calls the president, you will not walk in the street of Monrovia. What is the connotation of that? What is the interpretation when you say you will not walk? Does it mean that if I call you George Weah, if I say, oh, George Weah, you're this person, then your loyalists will come and kill me, or they will do anything? So if anybody did anything within that period of time, it will be attributed to the voice of the president that they are acting, or they are loyalists. So we are just saying they must be careful. Their voice have weight, but they must be careful how to put it out there because we're in a volatile society situation. So it is. Jerry, I think you agree with me, but I mean, what's the final word? So before we go here, that we're wrapping up, this is the final, Sonny. Who is the most independent-minded person on this network?
Well, I think you should put out the survey.
Come on. I didn't expect that coming from you. Survey?
You can put us on
that question.
let the audience.
That question is very prestigious. So that's a whole.
I know, right?
Okay, let me narrow it down. The liberal and myself. 4 or 5, or yeah, let's have a vote. Terry, where do you stand? You plead the
What was your question?
Well, Mr. So you are the most independent. Between you and liberal, you are more independent than liberal. Okay, I would say that clear off the bat, because but Liberal has declared his intention. Liberal has already taken side.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's very prestigious. It's very prestigious because the man says he's a liberal. So that's it.
Let's start back on the liberal myself. Who is most independent? Who stands in the gap to speak while people don't?
How do you want me to answer the question? I said the question is very prejudicial. That's what I just said. Huh? The man says he's a liberal. The man says he's a liberal. So what else do I have to say after that? What else do you want me to say?
So you plead the fifth?
The man said liberal.
You plead the fifth?
The man said
liberal.
Listen to me. Listen very well. The man said he's a liberal. He's a liberal. He's from Massachusetts. From what the place name? Georgetown. Or from
Okay.
That's what he say he's from. He say he's from Massachusetts.
Mr. Boakan, as usual, the politician, he doesn't want to answer it. Moses. Who is the most independent man on this network?
On this network? On this particular network?
Oh, I say yes.
The security people will not answer your question. You know
what definition are you looking at? Talk about independence.
Being objective. True to the power. Wouldn't dodge. Wouldn't not necessarily what you want to hear, but I speak my mind, and not someone who come today to put their foot in their mouth, then they come by in the next minute when they start blasting and they say, if I would not see it, we defend it. People coming on dress our devil. Okay, guys.
Well, if that's the definition that, I think that if that's the definition you look at, I think that you're more open to people's ideas and assertions and all that kind of thing than the liberal. The liberal come in with a special agenda and he sticks with his agenda. And he at times we give him a little, but he's always back to his agenda with Tabata. So I would say you're more open.
These are not my words.
So if the liberal tell me tomorrow that he's gonna put me in the garage, then I will understand why I'm in the garage.
Oh.
And that the trap that Mr. So was setting for you.
That was a trap. The walls are right, but not a strange name to you. So anyway, when he did that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for
Wait, so I sent you a video. I don't know if that's what you spoke about. The two persons at 72nd. I couldn't identify whether that was 72nd. But my wife was watching the video and she screamed. And she sent me the video. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same video.
Yeah,
that's accountability. And people sitting there with the rock and the 300 kid here, and people standing there and watching. That's what we talk about, civil duties. Why? You see, when people become desensitized, those are things that happen during post-war. So as far as people are seeing dead bodies on the street, it's a norm for them. They saw it for years. Most of those people, and I kind of mentioned it in our last thing, the guy who killed his own father, he was the age of 40. So at the age of 5, that's all he saw. Those people standing around, and there was somebody in the voice saying, hey man, y'all leave the man alone. And they killed that man right in the street. I don't know how many persons got killed. But then, what's the accountability factor? That video needs to be taken to the police headquarters, studied, and those people need to be apprehended with a press conference. We will not entertain such brutality and murder, those people need to be prosecuted. Everyone around there for standing by. You have a civic responsibility to stop those things from happening. And those are some of the teaching moments. We need to use that to teach our people, to let them know, because that video will be seen by other people, international community, and guess what? We're looking for help. We're looking for aid. We're looking for all these things. The people say you're living there like savages. We cannot support that kind of behavior. No economy, nothing that has to do with human rights. That was a sad video. That was a sad video. And many more. But those are teaching tools that we need to use so that we can start educating our people. The people, they are desensitized. They're totally desensitized. And that will be the closing statement. So thank you for having me. And hopefully we can continue. I will call the Libra and tell them how to put.
I hope when he comes here in person, what I heard from you, Terry and Moses, you guys will repeat the same, just to make sure that we all.
He will not put me on the show when I tell you. He will put me in the garage.
In the garage, yeah. Okay. All right, gentlemen.
Jared, I your co-host.
Anybody got any final thing to say?
Let me say that. I know tomorrow going to be here. Tomorrow will be the last day of the month or the year. So let's say, I just want to say thank to those who have contributed to be our followers, like most of our listeners. I don't want to call the name because I would not be able to call the names. So I just want to say thank you. Because of your strength, we are here. And we enjoy some of your comments. Sometimes it's laughable, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes we enjoy it. It's not funny, but sometimes it's enjoyable. You look at it, read it, and say, okay, this is what it is. So I just want to say thank you. But the year is coming to an end, and we thank God. Those that are going ahead of us, it's God will. And those are some of us still standing here, we'll ask God to give a blessing. And we also ask God to keep blessing one of our panelists, Mr. George, who is not feeling well. We ask God to keep on putting your hands on him. Thank you. And we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the closing point. The Libra going to be here tomorrow, so let's see what it is.
Tomorrow or Tuesday?
Tomorrow Monday. Tomorrow Monday.
Tuesday is Christmas Eve. It's the New Year's Eve, rather. It's the 31st.
Yeah. All he's saying now, he's talking. Him man will be here tomorrow. And
okay. He
for the year and tomorrow. Get ready. Just get ready and take some of your painkiller.
Let me do my own inclusive.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, Terry, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you again for the year-end closing program of Lpr. But I don't want my president to be a souvenir. I want my president to be a legacy president. A souvenir is the one who just there, But I want President Bokar to be a legacy president. So my advice to him will be to reshuffle the team that he have now, or else 2025 will not yield any positive results. Going to 2025, you got to reshuffle the team. And we have a messy legislature. This legislature, if they do not recalibrate, the whole entire 2025 will be a mess up year because it's just going to be an executive legislature. I do not want the legislature to be an executive legislature. I want the legislature to be robust. And the position I'm seeing the legislature in does not look healthy for our democracy. It does not look healthy for the transformation of the lives of the Liberian people. And if the president and the legislature do not come together to find a way to put themselves back to where they were, I'm sorry that after 2025, the people in the country will turn against the government. That is just my position. Thank you very much.
Wow. You and the Liberal thought I won there tomorrow. Okay, so guys, have a pleasant. I would say thank you to all of you, Mr. Simway, to Mr. Bacon, Mr. Collins. Your sacrifices given back to the community, despite of our diverse views, difference of opinion. But I think what is important is the mutual respect for one another. We agree, we disagree, but it's always been done in the civil context, which is really matters in our conversation. You want to say something, Mr. Bago?
Yeah. No, somebody commented on my mic. So maybe tomorrow, I'll face my mic. Maybe I'll far from the how you call this, the computers. That's what.
Tonight, just want tonight.
You were very clear.
I think that's what I say. I think every evening I will try to stop by because you know, like for every time I go there, we'll come back here. It can be okay.
Wait a minute.
You compromise, Mr. Bacon. This is not the co-host I knew. Something you did something to him. I got to tell Lpr, I hope you're watching. This is not our co-host.
You're on your own. 2025, Jerry said you're on your own. You I bring you most of over now. Most of coming over. So
Wow.
All right, my answer tomorrow. I'll face my mic. Okay, it will work perfectly tomorrow. I promise. Okay. Thank you.
Our followers, our viewers, we say thank you. We say
okay, Jeremy.
We say thank you for your commitment to this network and all what you do, your interactions, your engagement, agreement, disagreement. We highly appreciate that. And trust me, we'll go back and review these comments, and it helps to develop our talking points. Not that we don't call these politicians or policy people make our call them, but our job is to extend an invitation to come over. But for the most part, they don't want to do it because they feel whatever reason. But that will not make us to give up. We'll continue to extend an invitation. It's good to hear their side because if they don't come, then will become judgmental in their way of doing things, which is unfair. So this is why we always like them to also come to give their side of the story. Look, you guys, Fatu, thank you so much. Esther, the Breakable Power, Monat, and all of you. Thank you so much. We all pray to everybody, the family, we all rose over to 2025. And let's see, we just want better things to happen in our country. We want institutions to be respected. We want institutions to be preserved. That's our argument. This sort of mentality of always finding ourselves in a sort of crack kingdom war, I think it's time to undo that because these things put pressure on people. You know, they put pressure on people because when you're tough in the country, you have no other means. You're forced to go against your own way of doing things because you just don't want to turn your own brothers and sisters down when they ask. When you don't even have it, you have to take care of yourself. But you have few people that are just privileged living and doing whatever they can, and hundreds and thousands of other people are left by the wayside. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Enjoy your holidays, stay safe, and we'll be back here again in the coming week for more programming. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.